Destiny. Destiny.
An absolute show for every single person that's watching. But you know what? It's time for us to welcome the YouTube audience. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Valorant Challenger South Asia Split 2. We're currently inside the last day of the league stage, and hopefully you guys are ready with your popcorns.
Absolutely, we have saved the best for the last. Reckoning and Revenant, both of these teams have been absolutely spectacular to look at. Reckoning were probably one of the most innovative teams throughout Split 1, and whatever experiments that they've tried in Split 1, they have now perfected over the course of Split 2. Revenant, on the other hand, these guys did not get a chance to play in Split 1, but they make up for it massively in Split 2. They are probably one of the most aggressive teams and also one of the most unpredictable ones. Some of the plays that these guys make might seem very individualistic on paper, but the way they play in tandem, it is almost reminiscent of Paper Rex, and this is a very difficult team to pin down. Plus, when you've got players like Deadly 10, Harsh, Voya on Reckoning, along with Twist walking out, they are looking absolutely fabulous. Josh, right to Ace, Blackhawk, and Jing, you can always count on them. But you know who my two personal favorite players are throughout the entire tournament? It will be Flavin from Reckoning and Paradox from Revenant, and they have planned a coordinated walkout. They've got the hats, they've got the glasses, they've got the swag, and maybe they'll put on some body bags today. The Cowboys walking into the arena. Oh, hold on, Flavin, he turned around a bit too quickly. That's not how Mexican standoffs are supposed to be.
Well, maybe that was planned. Maybe Flavin was the quicker one. You know, you never know, man. Reaction time, maybe Flavin's got it on the point today. But I like the fact that they've also shared their pistols this time, their revolvers. So they're showing a little bit of brotherhood over here. I like the fact that both of them are just cowboys. Let's see how their guns are going to be working inside the game as both the coaches walk on the stage. And finally, they're going to fist bump their way in. Soon enough, we're going to take a look at the map veto, which is, of course, going to be a huge icebreaker. And a map veto is something which will really which will catch us off guard, or it's going to be the basic one, which we all expected.
Nah. You see their walkouts? Do they seem basic to you? I don't think the map video is gonna be basic either. I'm pretty sure that Ascend and Haven and all that kind of stuff is gonna be thrown right out of the window. I'm expecting something like Lotus, something like Pearl. We might see Bind if it doesn't get target banned by Reckoning. But yeah, I definitely don't think this is going to be one of those standard games, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly why we've saved the best for the last. These are some of the two most visually spectacular teams. They're the most entertaining ones. Of course, they're also some of the best ones, but I think entertainment can be put a little ahead of sound Counter-Strike today, sound Valorant today, because these teams are so good in presenting themselves. It is a treat to watch them.
And just keep this thing in mind too, ladies and gentlemen. Whichever team loses this matchup, it will be their second loss added inside the league stage. So, as I said, the bragging rights are definitely quite strong this time, and you do not want to lose out on that. Reckoning Esports, I don't exactly know what they're talking through over here, but they're definitely having some detailed talks going on right now. And considering we know how Reckoning Esports are and how they like to banter around, this game is going to be an absolute action-packed and also an entertaining game. Now, soon enough, we're going to be taking a look at the map veto. As you said, Crips, yeah, we are going to be expecting some new maps over here. Maybe Lotus, something unorthodox, maybe some new maps, maybe Fracture as well. It's not something that we see often. I would be down to see both these teams just duke it out on that map. But I don't exactly know how the map veto is going to look like. Deadly 10, speaking of this man, recently he's been looking under form, and hopefully today as well, he's going to find himself in that groove. Take a look at the map veto. Reckoning Esports going for the first ban on the map, a Split. Revenant will get the second chance to ban. Split being banned out? I think so. It's going to be their comforts ones.
Oh, hold on. If they've already banned out the comfort maps, which means they get to pick their own best ones. Alright, it's a Lotus from Reckoning. We've seen this from them before. Reckoning looked absolutely spectacular on Lotus. They are very, very good. Of course, at one point they were the best team in Lotus, but now other teams have also added Lotus to their mix. They've added it to their capabilities. So let's see if Revenant will struggle over here or not. Bind, on the other hand, has been a staple for Revenant Esports, and I think that's for good reason. I hope Reckoning can bring their best game over here, because Revenant can turn this map of Bind into a source of infinite chaos.
Exactly. Haven's going to be the banned next one. So let's see what Revenant's going to go for. Ascent being banned out. That means the decider's going to be Fracture. Okay, Crips. I'm down for this one. A BO3, which will probably potentially end on the map of Fracture. And as I said, this is a matchup made in heaven. I'm expecting close games in every single map over here. But Lotus, that also means that we will probably see the Harper Viper composition, considering it's the team Reckoning Esports, which Lotus has been looking like a strong suit for them. One thing is for sure, they are probably improved drastically on this map.
Yep, even I hope so. Revenant, like I said, they are the kind of team that love delving into chaos. They like turning their attention to the dark side and using that malicious power to throw all their opponents into a state of downward spiral. Let's see if they can channel that energy once again over here, as they go for a very aggro build already. What is this? They've got the Raze and the Breach together? Turn it up with Sky and you've got a lot of flashes on Revenant. Meanwhile, Reckoning stick to their standard Harbor Viper composition, along with the Sky to burst out of those walls. And they will most likely play this game in a very methodical, very slow fashion, as they like to spread out. That's one of the advantages you have with the double controller setup. You can spread out and just take a lot of control without actually having to fight. Meanwhile, Revenant, their lineup kind of looks like they are built to just fight, brawl, and just continuously tear their opponents apart.
Yeah, the lineup just looks like an aggressive one, the agent select. But let's see, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on forward inside the first map of Lotus. As we take a look, of course, Revenant Esports on the defense and Reckoning Esports on the attack. The teams seem ready, and hopefully you guys are ready too, as we're going to kick things off for the pistol round. Considering Revenant Esports, they've only got that one controller underneath their belt. Blackhawk on the Omen, the classic combination. Let's see how it's going to work out. As Crips mentioned, yeah, this composition is quite an aggressive one. They need to take some aggressive map control. But if a lot of time's wasted early off by Reckoning Esports, then this can definitely sting them quite a lot. Revenant on the defense so far. Just playing the patience game, not really taking it against the opponents just yet.
I like this Viper wall that Reckoning have deployed. It lets them creep up towards the ultimate orb region and take it without any contest. Plus they've got the Cascade as well, which allows them to break that door onto B-Link and flood right inside the B side. But Revenant are ignoring the smokes. They're pushing right in, and Reckoning punished them for doing so. That's what happens when you try to push out of the high tide. You will get slowed down and killed.
Still a 3-on-1 scenario though. Paradox just creeping and crawling his way in. Notice that the players are on the bomb site. Trist will seal the deal. Paradox taken down. A huge threat dealt with. And Reckoning Esports, they kick things off on a great note. The first round in their hands. Of course, the double controller is working out, but still that little pathway they created towards speed, just surprising the players of Revenant, and also just dropping them like flies, not even giving a lot of chance or a lot of time to react. Definitely something that they would want to keep up. But let's see what Revenant's got underneath the belt. Yesterday we saw quite a lot of thrifties, to be honest. Especially on those anti-eco rounds. They were still able to get those thrifties secured, so you never know what can happen. You might just be up for a lot of surprises. Reckoning Esports taking the C-Long control. Going for the Orbis Hirsch. So nothing being showcased just yet. Even Revenant not pushing out at all, playing quite disciplined, letting the opponent team have that space, respecting their privacy. Reckoning on the other hand though, really just want to breach in the opponent's territory as the rest of the three players walk in. Now everyone's stacked outside A. The intentions are starting to get a little more clear. Even the intentions, as you can see, they've finally decided to stroll on the site. Deadly 10 opens the fray, and Reckoning Esports, they've got a clear pathway. 3-on-4 definitely is doable, but Revenant's still able to get some kills underneath the rug. Able to sweep them under the rug, but Reckoning now, they finally get the grip back on the round, as Joss is going to be the last man up in life. Inside the cove, can't do much, and Voya will seal the deal. Good way. Reckoning Esports, 2 rounds. as expected, but now the opponents are going to have the better weaponry. And as I said, so does the entire agent select. Just resembles. Revenant Esports will need to play this one on the aggression. They've got the lineup, they've got the agents, a lot of flashes. All they need to do is just back the players up with a flash. Heavy presence outside B once again. The Paradox is going to go for an aggressive control. Stay long control instantly in the hand. While the rest of the players from Revenant Esports, they started traverse on the B site. Already you can see Deadly Tent just so aggressive. Got so much map control. Knows there's another player in the close quarters. Chin's taken down. Almost could have taken down Josh as well. But barely able to stay alive on the skin of his teeth. And now it's Josh just going for those duels. Chris was able to seal the deal onto that man for Reckoning Esports. The problem is that they've lost out on the spike and Trist is way too low. Seems next to impossible to seal the round. And Reckoning Esports gonna respect Revenant. As they know, this round is pretty much gone. So Trist, he's a man on a mission. He at least wants to take down one single player before he gets taken down himself. But the dream is gonna stay a dream. Revenant Esports, a clean round from them, perfectly countered. But this could have been a huge nightmare too. Deadly 10. Man, if he's gonna keep on being this aggressive the entire game, let me tell you guys, it's going to be an absolute treat to watch. Hirsch has already got his Seekers up, which he can utilize to try and do something. One thing is for sure, to gain at least information to pinpoint exactly where his opponents are. But let's see what Reckoning Esports is going to try to do here. Considering they have hit the A side and the B side so far, they'll probably now try to bring a little bit more variety. Once again, they're trying to do the same thing that they did in the previous round. There is an alarm bot waiting for them. Deadly 10 wants to be aggressive. This time, a lot of utilities just on his face. Can't move up forward anymore. The Aftershock's going to deny his entry. Just waiting for those duels. Reckoning Esports giving their presence away to the Hawk. Gonna fall back silently. Paradox as well falls back from the A-Long. Reckoning Esports will get the control back. So many visual denying utilities. And Revenant, they're not really able to get that confirmed information on their opponents. But look at Reckoning, so indecisive. Don't exactly know where to go. They're just trying to play around, trying to gather some information. But still, now finally, they have made their mind. They want to go on the C site. They want to hit it because Killjoy is the only one on that site. Seekers used to get the exact position of the opponents. And Boya's going to start the fray.
Good stuff. Ching instantly eliminated the High Tide as well as the Viper Toxin screen available to boot. And this should keep Revenant away. At least cut lines of sight before the spike goes down. And now that the walls fall to the ground, it's time for Revenant to rise up. The Cove will also dissipate in a moment. Deadly playing in a one-and-done angle, hoping that Flabin will be able to trade him, but right to Ace is there to neutralize the numbers. The wall drops, Josh pops the flash. We are supposed to keep them at bay, supposed to keep them burning, but he just needs to kill anyone who's defusing, and guess what? Nobody is doing that. Trist, they're all ready to push him right now. He's already deployed the snake bite, so he can buy some time. But little does he know that the spike is just about to start ticking, and it's up to Trist once again. An easy 1v3 for this man.
Stays calm, cool, and collected. This man did not panic at all in that situation. With a 3K, was able to secure the round for his team too. Revenant Esports, they still have that one single round on the board. So at least not a lot of lead just yet in the hands of Reckoning. Only 2 rounds lead. So the pressure's not going to be surmounting just yet.
That's true. But what I somewhat am skeptical about with Reckoning's approach in the previous round was that they take control of B by using the High Tide. They also spread out towards C and A at the same time, which is nice. But then they give up on both B and C early on. Now, it's a good thing that Revenant didn't catch on to it, but if Revenant were a little more proactive, they would have figured out where Reckoning were going in the end. Uh-oh. This is Josh being pushed back. Both the Cascade and the Trailblazer forces him to concede the area as he hears multiple footsteps from Reckoning approaching him. He's already called in the cavalry. The rotations are on the way. But they won't be able to make too much of a difference because of the Reckoning invested by Reckoning. And just as I say their name twice, Deadly takes one frag.
Right, we're gonna start things off. They've got the B control too. Revenant, they can't do a lot in this situation. We'll need to respect the opponents, let the site control be taken away, but look at Deadly all by himself on the A site. And somewhere down the line, Revenant knows too that there's one man trapped somewhere towards the A. And finally, Paradox finds the opening as he takes down Deadly. Tent cracks his skull open, sweeps one under the rug, and Blackhawk too able to shut down Voya. Now the bodies are starting to drop down. Revenant Esports, definitely a momentum of pace inside the round that we're looking for. Even invest the ultimate, the Rolling Thunder. They are clearly just indicating that they want to get this round in the hand. But Ching still able to get that kill. Right to Ace 2 from Lack, and Revenant, they still pull this round off. It seemed like an impossible round to get in your hands, but Revenant Esports, they still somehow do it.
What a carpet bombing utility from Revenant Esports, and so well orchestrated. The first boom bot that was used by Paradox gave the information about who's holding the closer angles and who's holding the farther ones. Now, the paranoia from Blackhawk was a little early. If it was thrown along with the Rolling Thunder, it would have been even more devastating, but Revenant still make it work. The only person who could have actually saved this round was Trist, because he's playing towards the start of C-Link. And that's not a position you would expect an attacker to be in that deep in the post plant. So he went and checked, and he actually could have created a lot of impact, but he got one tapped out of existence. Now that's a banger. Oh, and this time also Reckoning start off with furious, blistering pace. Deadly already dashing inside, clearing out the way, and the rest of his teammates follow suit.
They were able to scoop the previous round away, but let's see if this one's going to be done or not. Once again, the site control's taken away. Revenant, they also have the weapons advantage. But just like how Reckoning lost their own buy round, there's a high chance that Revenant might just lose their buy round too. Right to Ace knows the players in the close is detained, and will take full advantage of that situation. Reckoning, they start to flow in the site as they're trying to stop this entire retake from Revenant. The last two players are up and alive from Revenant. Right to Ace and Josh's. Right to Ace, a man to be feared. Let's see how much Reckoning are going to fear him. No, it's going to be the answer. A Thrifty being pulled off even from Reckoning.
What is this? I mean, both these teams are pulling Thrifties upon Thrifties. I mean, why do you even have the guns at this point? You know, we usually talk about economy quite often, which dictates the momentum of a team, but I guess in the case of these two teams, all our conversations about money are irrelevant, because these guys are capable of pulling off such random good stuff. Now, there are few problems with Revenant's round this time. The lockdown invested doesn't cover the entire Viper's pit. So Trist isn't forced to vacate his own pit. He can continue staying over there. Yes, the extension from Deadly was a little late. If he probably went in a little early on, he probably could have destroyed the lockdown too. But even without it, even though he gets detained, he's doing just well. Revenant pushing really deep into its A lobby, and that's something they've always done. But on the other hand, Blackhawk is able to kill Warrior, and that too through the smoke.
Yeah, that's gonna sting later on. Especially in the post-plant scenario. Right to Ace, way too close. Her comfort will be dealt with. Nothing could be found in that scenario from Right to Ace. Definitely a sad moment. A 4-on-4 scenario. We're able to get the trade up. Revenant, on the other hand, still just playing it safe and sound. They have won one Thrifty round. And they're looking to line up another one too, just next to it. They were able to sweep one under the rug, but Reckoning Esports, now they're going to try to play it tight.
Yeah, they're all playing like a very tight-knit unit. 3 of Reckoning's members sticking together. Meanwhile, Harsh is the only one who's lurking around towards B. Oh, Paradox gets caught napping. I can't blame him when he gets Ferrari peaked like that. And the timing from Harsh, it could be perfect. Wow. Even Ching gets caught off guard. The flash will detect where Blackhawk is. And now Revenants are almost entirely detected. Only Josh's position remains somewhat of a mystery, but even then, even if they don't know where he is, it's not like the 2v4 is an easy retake for Revenant. Yeah. They've pulled off some really cool rounds before, but this is too tall of a task.
The round loss is inevitable. And that's why Josh he hasn't really found an upgrade for himself. He's still got a sheriff in the hand. So he's looking to take the fight against the opponents. Just trying to deal some extra bit of damage if possible. But Reckoning Esports, they're just playing it so disciplined. Recovers a Vandal in his hands, and now, yeah, Revenant is going to fall back. It's completely okay if Reckoning Esports are able to steal this round away. Revenant, they need to start cooking something up right here, right now. They can't let these side controls be taken away just like that. If you've noticed, Reckoning Esports, they're not struggling at all to get the side controls in the hands. But what they're struggling with sometimes is to sustain those.
You're right. Just to deal with the struggles, Revenant Esports are calling the tactical timeout already. So far, Revenant Esports, while they are playing pretty proactively towards the start of the round, they almost always give up the area as soon as even a single cascade is thrown in from Reckoning Esports. So that's one thing that Revenant are doing well, but I would like it if they can maintain control over certain areas for a longer amount of time. Of course, that comes with a risk. If you overstay your welcome, you are at a chance of being run over and offered very unfair fights, because Reckoning will almost always play as a well-stacked unit. You will always be facing a 1v3 or a 1v4. If you have backup, even then, it's still gonna be like a 2v4 or something along those lines. So Revenant will almost never have the trade advantage unless they start playing from sites and preemptively stacking the sites by reading Reckoning somehow. Which again, if you try to do by playing proactively, is possible, but that's the problem. If you invest too much utility very early on just to take that map control away from Reckoning, and if you use too much of it, you won't have anything left when Reckoning actually start their execute. So it also comes down to timing as well to some extent. So Revenant have to maintain that balance somehow.
Paradox has got a showstopper. They can try to do something here, right? 2Ace, he's only 2 orbs away from his ult. Rolling Thunder. This round, they can try to go for some hefty investments just to get it in the hand and also put a little full stop on the momentum swing that Reckoning has gotten so far. Reckoning utilized. Flavin is adamant to get the side on the hand, and Reckoning Esports once again, they get the side control. Deadly 10, this man just does not stop moving. Eventually also gets the opening for his team. As I said, Reckoning, they're just not struggling at all to get the side controls in the hand. And I think so now, considering they've also got a huge man advantage situated up. Revenant, they will need to probably try and fall back maybe. Because, yeah, that's the best thing they can do. Let this round away as well, because the site takes are just so cleanly done. But as you guys saw it there, he tried to spam through the Harbor's wall with a Vandal. The Tracers were seen, and then even he got killed right then and there. Spamming through anything, a smoke or wall with a Vandal is just so risky.
Reckoning Esports getting those frags, and without being traded, you can almost call them a freebie. But all the remaining members of Revenant Esports are now positioned towards Rubble and A main. They're ready to fight this one out. Flabbin really wanted to trade Blackhawk, but he's afraid of getting double peaked. Rightfully so.
This man is on a hunt. Right to Ace. We'll finally be able to stop him, but it's not going to matter Reckoning at all. They've got so much money. The bank's just stacking up. The cash is overflowing. So yeah, even if Flabbin was the opening over there, they're completely fine with that. Now Voya's got his hands on the lockdown. They're probably going to utilize this lockdown to get a site control in the hand. So this should be another free site take for them.
They're holding on to this showstopper. I'm assuming it's to counter the lockdown that comes out from Voya. This poison orb setup that is being deployed by Wrist every now and then allows the Reckoning members to cross over towards Rubble on paper. But Revenant are also equally quickly taking control of A Rubble just to deny it to Reckoning Esports. That's why Reckoning almost always start off their rounds towards the B and C side respectively. If they are to go A, they have to go late. Or they have to do it at the cost of a lot of utility.
Wow.
And like I said, Reckoning do go A, but it's a bit late. And this is after committing a fake lockdown towards the C site. But the Trailblazer being used by Josh might just give them a little clue.
Oh, Blackhawk gets one and will also fade away. Still positions known, and Blackhawk's able to line him up. Those headshots are really stinging deep. But at least Reckoning Esports is able to get the site control in the hand so far. They've got the aerial control, not exactly on the site just yet. Paradox utilizes a showstopper, gets rewarded with one, but that's all he's going to get. Kills are happening back and forth, but in the end, the round's going to be secured by Revenant Esports. Such a scrappy round.
Yeah, but this was quite proactive by nature for Revenant Esports. As soon as Blackhawk heard those people come up, he decided it was trying to strike. Instead of actually falling back conveniently, he stayed around in positions where he can pick up some kills. And this is some really good peaks. Plus, there was a massive play by Josh as well over there. The Trailblazer that he used towards C Mound made sure that Reckoning's lockdown was fake. That's what confirmed it to Revenant Esports, and that's exactly why they were able to rotate all their players towards A in the nick of time before Reckoning could get inside.
Once again, a slow start. They're having players situated on every single part of the map. Reckoning just making sure that the opponents are not going to overstep their boundaries. Instead, Deadly 10 once again decides to move in deep. A good flash. And right to Ace will be rewarded with that kill. Stops the entire aggression from Deadly 10. Voya on the C side trying to cause a little bit of more distraction. Even Paradox in the up close quarters of the A long. Still, Reckoning Esports don't exactly know what to do. Now, finally, they're starting to stack outside the C. Probably do want to make it in there because the turret was taken away in the first initial contact by Voya. Now they know there's no turret available there. But still, the alarm bot's going to be a little bit of a problematic situation. And yes, it was. Some time being bought, but is that enough? That's the question. Tristan, the Lurk, is able to find two. Those are two crucial frags and also a game-changing one.
Oh my goodness. Speaking about game changer, and Josh is here to flip the tides. Unfortunately, Blackhawk can't do the same. Josh catches the timing once again. So good on these lurk timings. I can't even call this a lurk, by the way. This was just him being a really good player.
Enemy remaining.
Oh, and he just continues to strike. He continues to impress. Revenant are making this one work. Reckoning knew exactly where Josh was, but they still can't do anything about him. Despite having the information, they leave him, and he goes rampant. It's all up to Flabbin now. Most likely gonna get double peaked, and he gets swung into oblivion. Josh with a quad kill.
Revenant finally seems like they're able to get this entire momentum flow stopped, at least for now. But still, the main objective for them is to not trip over their own shoelaces. If they make any sort of mistakes once again, and if Reckoning Esports is able to find that little flow that they're looking for, they'll probably try to flow in. And this is why the tactical timeout's being called too. Reckoning Esports, the switch up is needed. In the initial phase sometimes, once again, the first contact, sometimes if it works out, that's a good thing for Reckoning Esports. But that mid-round indecisiveness is starting to kick in.
Yeah, that indecisiveness is something that is actually good for Revenant. You know, the more indecisive Reckoning are, the better it is for Revenant Esports. But I wouldn't exactly call this indecisiveness over here. I mean, Reckoning, they had a plan. Yes, they adapted. It wasn't a great adaptation. We've seen better stuff from them in the past. But as soon as they realize that there's a lot of people present towards the B side, they kick the door down and they try to make a play towards A. Of course, Reckoning will reach A much faster than Revenant Esports on paper. That is, if Revenant take their normal rotation paths via defender spawn. Who would have expected that Josh would literally follow them, chase them like it's hot pursuit, and kill 3 people in the back? Like, that's not something you expect. And the first kill that he was able to get was quite fine. The second one, playing on the timing based off the cove. He swings out of the cove, catches one fall back, and even then, Reckoning are in such a hurry to get to the A side, they just simply don't cover their back lines, and he's able to shoot everyone.
What?
That is nutty. I mean, Triss probably shouldn't have been even visible, but he jumps back to dodge the fault line, and Paradox procs him off mid-air. If he probably just walked back, he would have been fine. But I can't even call that a mistake. Nobody would expect to get shot down this fast.
Yeah, that was just some inhuman stuff. That's all I can say, but one thing that we know for sure is that this is given a huge advantage to Revenant, but as soon as I speak of the advantage, it's being stolen away by Deadly 10. The ultimate was used, Rolling Thunder, but that's not going to be enough to stop the mayhem that Deadly 10 is currently causing on the site. He gets another one. A 3-on-4 scenario. Revenant Esports, they had the man advantage at the start, but out of nowhere, now it's faded away. And Reckoning Esports, they've also been rewarded with the site control, but they still haven't got the plant just yet. Flavin is slowly and steadily making his way on the site. He will get the flank. He will get the plank down, but there's also a flank in the name of Blackhawk, a man to be feared. As Revenant Esports, we know Right to Ace is just waiting for this flank to be activated, and as soon as Blackhawk finds the opening, Right to Ace will probably try to strike in from the front. But he's way too worried, way too paranoid about the flank, and Deadly 10 once again, a man unstoppable.
Reckoning Esports adjusted so very well in this particular round. They didn't have too many backup plans. They were very adamant on going towards the C site. And yes, they faced some resistance. Revenant stopped them from planting quite early on. All the utility that Right to Ace threw, first the Rolling Thunder, then the Aftershock, just kept Reckoning away from the planting region. Paradox nade was kind of missed, so yeah, his presence in this round was not really noted. Even later on when he double satcheled inside, he kind of just flew into his death. And that was the undoing of Revenant Esports. Otherwise, on paper, Revenant did some really good stuff to keep Reckoning delayed over there, to stop them from planting. But Reckoning just take a pause, they take a chill pill, and they're back in the action. Oh my god!
Down, C.
These shots, these individual performances that both these teams are showing from their side, it's hard to believe in. And Revenant Esports, once again, they're having the upper hand. But Paradox getting dinked up like that, not a good news for them. Both of the players on the C site, or at least towards the C site, they're quite low. So they should not take any sort of extra bit of risk here. Try to play in the back lines a little bit. Safe and sound has to be the way to go. And every single player now is just stacking outside the A. But they've still got one man on the lurk. It's in the name of Trist.
They flip the switch. That's a good position to send a Trailblazer in from. And Trist also finds a kill on the lurk while coming in from B site. So that is less advantage for Revenant Esports. But Revenant still have the numbers. So as long as they can just hold on to the A side, they should be fine. Oh, never mind. To cut off the lines of sight, the Viper Spit is deployed. Now planting should not be a problem for Reckoning. Unless Revenant try to make dive in plays like these. Blackhawk barges inside, hoping to get something done. But Chin finds Trist through the smoke. He didn't even have line of sight. Yes, Harsh gets the revenge frag, but what good is it? Now he's trapped in here. Very little time left, and both the Revenant players just ready to swing on him.
It's placed in a way too much of an uncomfortable situation, and in the end, got dealt with. And now we're finally going to move on forward to the second half. First half was quite interesting, quite a close one, a neck-and-neck fight indeed. Revenant Esports at the start weren't quite able to get the grip on what exactly was going on, but later on inside the game, they started to get the grip solidified on the necks of Reckoning Esports. So 7-5 is going to be the scoreline for the first half, but we still don't exactly know what's going to be the outcome in the second half. But gotta say one thing, that is, Reckoning Esports are playing so disciplined.
Yeah, Reckoning Esports are playing in a really nice fashion. We will discuss more about that on the other side of this break.
Bro, fridge meat के लिए, heat के लिए नहीं. Bro, this graphics card is making my frames drop. Come with me if you wanna get.
The all-new Omen 16 with advanced Tempest cooling technology, now with 5 heat pipes and 4 thermal outlets. The Omen 16 with 12th Gen Intel Core i7 processor to make you forget your frame drops.
Now that's cool.
Game on with Tempest cooling.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Yes, I'm a Gen Z, or should I say, the Gen X. And I don't let fear hold me back from doing anything. I choose to move fearlessly to it all.
Hey buddy, we need you to trim your beard for this next scene.
What? Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I move fearlessly in most things, but I draw the line here. What if I Nico cut myself?
Try this.
Phillips.
Came for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
After that first half, ladies and gentlemen, now we're going to deep dive in the second half. For Revenant Esports will be pushed on the attack. And Crips, we've talked about this numerous amount of times, how this map favors the attacking side a lot, but we've also seen a lot of those times in the past too, where the defending team has done quite a phenomenal job stopping the attackers.
Yep, we've seen some insane comebacks. I mean, just the previous game of Lotus that we witnessed was an absolute brawl. So I have some really high hopes from the second half of this map as well. Revenant Esports now on the attacking side, and now on the preferred side actually, because their brute force executes will now be in full effect.
Right there.
This is a very aggro team, you know, even their composition is built a lot around fighting. But they're gonna send in all this utility. The fault line goes through, so do the Trailblazers and the flashes, and it bites deadly as soon as Paradox is allowed to peek him. The timing is perfect, but the small gaps in the smokes with Harsh and Flabin both exploit. Voya jumps right through, only to get shot down by Josh, and now he's trapped. He's being played around. The Harbor is playing with his food, and Flab and Harsh both strike them down in tandem. Reckoning Esports are stoic in this hold.
Those taps from Josh were just so clean and calm. But yeah, in the end, wasn't able to get the job done, and Reckoning Esports once again able to start things off on a great note. The second half already seems like it's favoring Reckoning Esports, and now the upcoming anti-eco should probably be won by them too, so make it 9-5. These advantages that are being given away by Revenant Esports is definitely going to sting them, because later on there won't be any sort of room for error left. Already it's next to none. So let's see how this is going to be dealt with. A quick take towards the C-Long. He's got the control. Outside C. But instantly going to fall back. Just showing that fake presence, getting the ARB in the hand. And falling back. Revenant Esports. Don't exactly know what to do, but we are seeing that rotation being pulled away too from Reckoning. Nothing much can be said just yet. And now we're finally seeing a heavy stack outside. Hey! As the first kill was found, deadly 10, just way too low. Would not want to take that extra bit of risk. We'll probably try to play it safe in the back.
He was brave enough to re-peek it once more. And he realized.
Deadly 10, so
Right there.
that's something good for Reckoning. At least the player's now healthy. And once again, they reroute their way towards the C site. As Revenant Esports looking to knock on the doors of Reckoning. There's two players available and waiting for them to just stroll on the site. There will be a snake bite instantly as soon as the first contact's found. And yeah, way too many utilities that's resisting the site control. And Ching is way too low now. It's a 3-on-5 scenario, not even having the guns advantage. Next to impossible to get the round.
Yeah, there's no way to brute force through this one. There's just way too much underneath your feet and in your heads as well, especially when Trist is hitting shots like that. This was pretty much a microwave setup, you know. You get vulnerable with the poison cloud from Trist, and then the nanoswarms from Hoya burn you alive before you even know it. The floor is lava setup active on C from the side of Reckoning Esports, and Revenant will have to find some way around it. So far, their scouting attempts have net them quite some results. But even though their scouting attempts are quite successful, Reckoning are just so much faster on the rotates. They're able to figure out every time where Revenant are about to hit. And this time they dodge pretty much all the utility courtesy of the Cloudburst. Paradox ready and waiting, but deadly. Even with the short he pulled out, can't do anything. Flabin's blind as a bat, and now he doesn't even have his life.
That aggression doesn't work for them. Instead, it works against them. And Paradox single-handedly has managed to mow down anyone that stands against him. Revenant Esports, this buy round, they've instantly just bring back to life. As Paradox, and they tossed up. But Trist will find the kill onto him. Finally, the showcase that Paradox was showing so far. Trist has managed to find a full stop onto that. 18 HP left. Not a lot to back him up with that one.
Yeah, but if Paradox starts coming alive right now, maybe Revenant will have a say in this half yet. This guy can be absolutely insane if you let him loose. He's a beast who must be kept shackled. For if those shackles are broken, they will turn into structures which Revenant will build upon.
6-9's the scoreline, though.
It
Still
is.
not that far away. Grabbable.
Yeah, but I mean, Reckoning only used the Reckoning partially used this one because they didn't have the weapons to fight them. I mean, you saw that the utility dump from Revenant was indeed quite devastating. But with only shorties and marshals, you can't hope to stop the brute force assault of Revenant Esports. They're known as one of the most aggressive teams in this tournament for a reason, and the only way to actually counter them is to take space where they're not present, and that's exactly why Deadly 10's pushing out of C. He's got the AWP posted in a very aggro angle, so I don't think anyone from Revenant will even expect this. But Revenant are taking their sweet time.
Blinded.
They're playing just ahead of Reckoning's Viper screen. Just on the edge of it. They're present towards A main as well as B, and it's not like they want to keep their position a secret. They're making a lot of noise towards this B site.
Yeah, and the composition that Revenant's got too. It's heavily supports quick bursts on the site. Trailblazer was initiated. He did get the information on one player, but now finally going to utilize the Seekers too to get the confirmation on where exactly the players are mentioned, or where exactly the players are. Revenant Esports, B-side control taken away in the hands. Blackhawk still on the lurk. He's just waiting for anyone to step out. Trailblazer's not going to be able to spot Blackhawk right there, so Elise gets unchecked, but the teleport's going to be heard. But Blackhawk still somehow wins that duel. And Josh is from the back will also try and assist him a little bit. Hirsch taken down. It's a 3-on-4 scenario. The retake seems next to impossible. But if Deadly 10's able to connect shots like that, then it indeed is possible. Now it's taken down to a 3-on-3. Revenant Esports playing this one so safe and sound, not taking any sort of extra risk. But the flashes are exactly on the point. Tristan's way too low. But Paradox is going to use the showstopper right to his face.
Everybody in the round dead. It doesn't happen often, you know, where all 10 players die. So this is one of those really entertaining rounds where both the teams threw in everything they got. Reckoning always had a lot of C-mount control, and the flank from Deadly 10 coming in was actually very impactful. But to counter that lurk, Blackhawk had a lurk of his own, and he survived way longer than he should have. He was detected by the Trailblazer and still managed to somehow teleport across the other side and kill the harbor. That harbor could have been a game changer. Imagine him sticking the defuse on the spike with the Cove. That would have been absolutely disastrous. But this time Revenant want to fight fire with fire. They push through the water, and that's what happens when you challenge Flabben's walls. He will mow you down and make it look super easy. 10 seconds into the round, and more than half of Revenant forces have been cut in half.
I like the fact that Reckoning Esports is playing fire to fire here. All the time they're trying to push something. You see them being aggressive on some part of the maps all the time because they know Revenant's composition is quite aggressive. If you give the map control, they will punish you for that. And this is what Reckoning Esports is trying to deny. Ching goes for first contact, finds the opening. The second player, Blackhawk, they're traded up. And now it's a 1-on-3. Revenant Esports, definitely a lot of pressure, a lot of burden on his back. But Blackhawk still just waiting for him to utilize the TP, and now he fell on the A side, completely on the opposite side. But Reckoning Esports is known to that fact, and they're quite close to the side as well. And Blackhawk, he doesn't know how much trouble is arriving soon enough on the site, but he's got the paranoia up. If used in the right time, it can be perfect. Gets two, falls back, and now position still compromised because the Seekers finally deciding to use the paranoia. It might just be the perfect timing that he's looking for. The player was blinded in the front, but Hirsch, he did not expect to face himself in such a weird spot. Blackhawk playing so patiently, and finally Hirsch is going to be a little impatient.
Now that's exactly why I call him one of the deadliest players in India, one of the deadliest lurkers. He hides in the shadows, lurks in the night, and in the night turns into a manifestation of everything you fear. A 1v3 pulled off. I mean, this frag onto Trist, I do not even know how that happened, man.
Unlucky.
He was only supposed to kill the Killjoy, but somehow Trist just walked into his crosshair, gifted him that frag on a silver platter. And man, this guy, he turns it into gold.
Trist was trying to just get the refract, but unfortunately, man, he walks in that fire. Unfortunate stuff indeed. And Reckoning Esports, now they're really going to start to kick themselves after that situation. It was a 1-on-3. No way they could have lost that. And then Blackhawk just comes out with a miraculous clutch, and in the end, he plays that brilliantly too. Luckily for him, he had a decent amount of utilities available, and that's what he utilized to play it perfectly and also buy a little bit more time off. The paranoia to get the man off the spike, nicely done.
I can't believe what I just saw. I mean, this match has had so many clutches from either side, but Blackhawk still takes the cake. I think this was still one of the most impressive clutches that we've seen, not just in this entire series, but in the entire split, perhaps. Just yesterday we witnessed so many clutches, right? So this one really is up there.
Placing swarm grenade.
But Reckoning have something to prove. They've got 4 ultimates, and maybe they can exact revenge for what Blackhawk did by firing every single one of those. Like always, they take control of C Mount, but instead of just having Flab and push out, this time there's 3 of them on their way in. In response, Reckoning have also smoked off the A side to use the Viper Spit over there, so Revenant are kind of boxed in over here. The only option they really have is kind of B. That's the only feasible one.
Yeah. And I'm still scared about that judge, but look at the amount of map control even Reckoning Esports have gotten. But it's not going to matter because Revenant's able to get the similar amount of map control in their hands themselves. Flabbing on either side of the wall, still just waiting to pop in. Hawk's not going to be exactly on the point, but at least it'll give the position away. Flabbin's position's compromised. Right to A, still going for the plant, but Paradox is there on the top, providing the cover. Nicely done. Reckoning Esports once again getting caught off guard. But they're still trying their best to fight back, trying to pull this round off the graves. As even Deadly 10's able to find some magical connections. Lockdown's going to force him off the site, but the spike's planted, and soon enough they'll probably try to get the defuse done too. This judge in the close quarters is going to be so deadly, and Trist stands right on the other side of the wall. The teleport's exactly there on the point, and Blackhawk was able to get the kill, but this man single-handedly is able to cause so much chaos, but it's not going to matter.
Everyone makes fun of
What a well-played round by Reckoning Esports, but they had to invest almost everything for this one. I still really enjoy watching Paradox play. The move he made over there is absolutely nuts. The Viper Spit is placed to deny entry into the A site, so Paradox says, who wants to go into the site? I'm gonna bypass the spit and go straight towards the stairs, circle around the other side, and then he's taking B from upper. That's what allows Revenant to crunch onto the B side. If it wasn't for the lockdown that Reckoning had, I think Revenant would have been able to win this one. And they might still do it, given the way how Deadly 10 is playing. So far, he was pushing out a C every single round, but this time he catches Revenant by surprise by showcasing his presence on A.
Outside A, every single player present, Deadly 10 was able to find the initial pick with the op, and now he's posted up in the back, waiting for any sort of moves. But Revenant 2, they're quite a cheeky one. Unfortunately for Revenant, they haven't really got the superior weaponry. They need to just try and convert something with the sheriffs in the hand. The trailer was perfectly there, but a little too late, and that's going to cost the player's life. All down to the last man, Blackhawk. In the previous round, he was able to do something, but this time, he won't be given a chance.
Absolutely not. Reckoning Esports keep it really, really clean. But I'm starting to worry now, Necro. Revenant Esports have farmed up their Rolling Thunder, and the rest of them are also just 1 point away from their ultimates respectively. This could get really dangerous really fast.
Coach is doing some heavy talkings. Reckoning Esports definitely got something to say. I mean, Reckoning Esports' coach knows now this is where the buy round will be. The Revenant will probably try to pull something off new here. And this is a timeout that's being called from the side of Revenant 2, because Revenant knows if the first map's taken away, the second map is bind, which highly likely they are to get this victory secured on bind too. But you never know, man. Maybe Reckoning, they've got something prepared up.
Maybe Reckoning have something prepared indeed. I actually like the way they're countering Revenant so far. I understand that this is their map pick and all, but given how aggressively Revenant play, it can be quite difficult to hold them back. Even though you've got like a double controller setup which is built to kill time, built to keep people away and just stall as much as possible. Revenant Esports are often showing signs of ignoring all of that and diving straight inside. And why wouldn't they? They have a very burst executive setup, right? So pace picking up is not really a problem for Revenant. Reckoning, on the other hand, getting them to slow Revenant, for Reckoning, getting them to slow Revenant down, it's quite difficult. And maybe Deadly will have a say in this round. You can hear the footsteps already. Dash not primed yet, but the op being placed in a very precarious off angle like that can definitely deter them.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, Reckoning aren't actually playing very aggro elsewhere. They're only showcasing this presence towards B. They're rather passive this time around. And why would they be aggro? Then they can probably tell that Revenant are going to knock on the doors over here. They just keep Deadly positioned, and that should be enough.
All the time, Deadly's just able to get away with those initial picks. And now that's going to start to annoy Revenant Esports so much. Because losing out on a man right off the bat like that is definitely not a good news. And especially your Killjoy, which can help you out so much. In those post-play scenarios, that can just be a little bit of salt rubbed on the wounds. But look at this aggressive push even from Revenant Esports. Deadly tried to stuff the shorty in his face. But unfortunately wasn't able to get the kill secured. But at least Josh is taken down way too low. Blackhawk going for the plant. Hirsch still just going to burst outside. And he's going to try to get the kill. And yes, he does. Perfect timing found for him. And Hirsch now has also got the side control established. Rolling Thunder utilized as well. And Right to Ace will now start to push behalf of that. Still Flabbin. Playing this one quite safe and sound. Now will start to make his way towards the side. He knows that the time's taken away. And finds that shot under Josh's.
Jeez, dude, some of these rounds are just so close. I can't even fathom how both these teams are going toe-to-toe like that. I mean, at one point, Revenant were significantly weaker. Reckoning had such a big advantage in terms of numbers, but still, Revenant brute forced their way through into the C site. The shorty plays, the cheeky op shots, none of them work. But then Reckoning do one even better. They use the timing. They beat them to the punch, even though the Rolling Thunder is used. And the clutch coming in from Flabbin, as well as Warrior's presence over there. It is all fitting in so well. It's like the jigsaw piece of puzzles just land into their laps without even trying.
Blinded.
Hirsch has to be the MVP of that previous retake. I mean, you can also call it quite lucky considering you just walked out of that smoke and there was no one holding it.
That's also true.
Yeah. Definitely the stars are aligned for Reckoning Esports inside this map. They're also on the map point. One more round needed to secure it in the hand. The lockdown's definitely going to force them back. They should give the site control away. Flabbin's detained, but it's not going to be an concern. For now, as Reckoning Esports, they've given the site control away. The spike plant goes down as well, but still, it's a 3-on-5 scenario against the players of Revenant Esports. Blackhawk's able to find one. Even Josh is single-handedly able to get two. And now it's a 2-on-2 scenario, but Trist, this man is just causing so many problems for his enemies. As Revenant Esports, the last glimmer of hope is in the name of Ching, and he saves the day.
Ching saves the day with the late coming through. He knew that Reckoning will try to crunch them from every single side. And yeah, Reckoning were present on a lot of avenues over here. B upper, as well as the B link that connects to C waterfall, as well as the door over there. Every single place had Reckoning just written all over it. And Revenant, what is their solution to these problems? Just fight it out. Just battle them, brawl them. Make it bloody, make it dirty. A double kill from Josh with the Guardian, combined with all the firepower that Blackhawk brings to the table. That man's 19 HP. Does he hesitate to double peek? No, he doesn't. He's still a Giga Chat. He acts like one, despite his health. And now Paradox is the one who will dive inside. He could actually kill Twist, and that deals with the Viper's Pit. How do you deal with suppressive utility? You blow it apart. Explosives. Always a viable solution to any problem. And he continues onwards. It's not like the showstopper's enough. He wants more. He's pushing them back with the pain shields as well. And he's gonna push his own teammates smoke. What is this? Like, why would Flabbin ever expect Paradox to push Blackhawk's smoke? That is just nonsensical in his books. But it works so well for Revenant. And these kind of plays, ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what's gonna be the undoing of Reckoning Esports. Revenant with the hyper-aggression, boundless attitude, infinite rat, and their just sheer ability to click mouse swan on their enemies' heads is unparalleled. I mean, some of these plays, if I hide the labels of these teams, and if I show them to a person who's never seen a professional game of South Asian Valorant before, they will be surprised to see how some of these tactics work out. Paradox going in with the showstopper without having any information on where players are on the C side and still is able to kill Tristan at the Viper's Pit. That's miracle number 1. Then Paradox pushes out of his own teammate Smoke. That's miracle number 2. Still finding the kill onto Flabin. I mean, some of these plays are just absolutely berserk and blocking fire. Yeah, they work. That's exactly why Revenant is the most aggressive team in South Asia. And they are very stylish when they do so. But then he has some aggression of his own. Oh, that was cool.
Yeah, that was not just cool. That was just something insane. I don't even know how to describe that. But yeah, Deadly 10, considering he was able to get away with those kills, it's just unbelievable. That should not have been possible at all. At least when he got that first kill, the second should have been possible, but he was still able to connect that shot somehow in Deadly 10. He brings his team back to life. As all he needs is one more round, but look at Paradox still just showing those patience, giving his presence away towards the seaside, just trying to play with the enemy minds over here for Reckoning Esports. Flabin, he doesn't really have the superior weapon. He's only got a Sheriff in the hand, and now finally he will utilize the Reckoning as well, a time which he was needed the most. But Paradox, once again, is able to get those two, just chops him off into the half, and now you've got Trista trying to pull something off with his teammates. It's a 2-on-2 scenario. Roya wrapping up from the back will be found, and Ching gets shut down. Last man alive from Revenant Esports. Every single thing is now in the hands of Right to Ace to keep his team streams alive inside the first map over here, and Right to Ace peeks out, will get nothing in his hands.
Reckoning Esports survived the chaos. They win map number 1. Great performance from them. Despite all that they had to face, despite the difficulties, they are able to come out on top. The structure works. And no matter what Revenant Esports try, Reckoning will still reign supreme. This really proves why they are one of the best teams on Lotus. But don't point the gun at your teammates, bro. Just...
Oh no, friendly fire.
Friendly fire. Thank God that doesn't exist in this game.
I know, right? Imagine if friendly fire actually existed in Valorant. That would have been so good.
Dude,
but hey,
I
jokes
would be
apart.
banned instantly.
I guess. I mean, not me, considering I've got a little bit of experience from the previous game. But yeah, I would be banned. I would be sure to make sure that I'm not really aiming at my teammates. But hey, one thing is for sure, man. Reckoning Esports, they showed some great Valorant, but even Revenant Esports, they showed some times where they're able to get the grip on exactly what the enemies were trying to pull off. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to talk about, and we will talk about it after this short break.
Came for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Feeling under pressure. Pressure.
is supposed to be the strength of Revenant Esports. They have only been defeated once over here by Orangutan, and that too in an insane comeback game. Can Reckoning pull off something similar? Can they hold on to the advantage that they acquired on Lotus?
They probably should be able to do so, but ladies and gentlemen, from the YouTube audience, welcome back as we're going to head on towards the map of Pines. But before that, we will need to take a look at the Agent Select, and that's what we're stopping here for. Blackhawk is going to be a double controller once again. That's what they like to do. Josh is probably going to go ahead and lock in that jet. A double duelist, double controller, right to ace with the Sky. Similar composition that we saw last time when they played against OG.
Well, this is quite promising from Reckoning Esports. Double controller will certainly help them slow down Revenant Esports, and that kill pace is something that they need. Plus, the Fade and the KO Both of them available should give them plenty of information. Plus, Chaos Flashes should really help set up Deadly for some really nice frags. So, the composition that Reckoning bring to the table is actually very, very stable. And I would say to some extent quite necessary against a team like Revenant.
It's quite interesting. You're seeing these switch-ups, right? Usually even Sova can be a good option. Then you talk about Sky as well being a good option. KO is being utilized from Hirsch. See how this is going to be used, because of course, if you're able to find those perfect suppress and if you're able to find those good timings on those suppresses too, then it can reward you massively. But they've only got one duelist, which is in the name of Deadly 10, of course. And this time, Paradox is going to start. They hit the pedal to the metal as Blackhawk and Paradox are able to find with two of their own. Great way to start things off, and now it's a 3-on-4 scenario. But Deadly 10 brings his team back to life. And Voya try to pull something off, but gets denied once again. Revenant Esports. What was this round? Chaos all over the place. It was even hard to know what just happened.
Oh, guess what's about to happen? He might just use the toxin screen of his opponent against them. I mean, Paradox already has one foot in the grave, so this guy is almost dead. And only Paradox has been spotted. They don't know where Ching is. Twist misses the opportunity, but he will definitely not miss the shot. That's it. He's dealt with the problems first, but now he needs to find where the other player is, and Ching revealed his position a bit too early. Twist has been given another chance. HP advantage in the hands of Ching, but Twist will try to bait him out. Using his own poison cloud against his opponent, he switches over to the other side, but the sound cue's been given away! Twist still gets it! The game sense on this man is insane, but does he have enough time? Oh my god.
Barely slips away. And Revenant Esports, that quick round from bathrooms, it somehow works out for them. It was so chaotic right off the bat initially. Look at this one. Flabin was able to get one. He's trying to stop them in the tracks, but the Deadly 10 finds a quick lineup onto his opponents. And in the end, Trist was there to take every single player down. He was able to mop the floor, but wasn't able to secure the round just right then and there. So at least the first round's going to fall in the court of Revenant Esports.
Still, it was really, really close,
HP?
right? Sheesh. Lucky to survive over there. And unfortunately, there is no healer in their team. No Sky available. So Harsh will have to continue playing over here. But then again, this was just an eco, right? So I guess he wasn't supposed to get all that much done in the first place.
Yeah.
At least with that push out, he figures out that Revenant Esports are already on B, so Reckoning can start rotating in as a unit.
I don't even know how is he alive there. We'll need to thank his stars. Josh on this jet. Holding the close quarters, holding the clotheslines with the Spectre. As you can see, with Reckoning Esports, every single player is now going to start falling in. The satchel's perfect. Paradox is always able to find the timing for his utilities. And once again, will seal the deal. Revenant Esports, another solid round on the board for them. But it was just eco frags, so we didn't really see a lot of struggle for them to get this round. But now the opponents are going to have the better weaponry in the hands. Light armors and Vandals and Phantoms on the board. Look at this, man. Paradox, especially that satchel play. The timing was just so perfect. Sound sense on the point. Once again, it seems like Revenant Esports will probably try to amp up the heat. They'll probably try to take an aggressive approach against their opponents because they know they've got the close range weaponry. Spectres, Bulldogs, even shotguns in the hand. Paradox has already found himself so deep towards the lamps area, towards the U-Haul. And now they've also got the sight control in the hand. Just like that, you blink it and you miss it. The sight control's taken away. But Flappin is going to hand down a haircut to his opponent. Two found.
This is a good response from Reckoning. They knew they were going to lose control of the lamps area, so they take the bath area in response. This forces Revenant Esports to stop planting. And while they think they can surprise Reckoning by going towards the defender spawn, Harsh is prepared for this one. And so is Warrior. They both play in tandem. But the trades still somehow are favoring Revenant. They're at least able to kill Harsh. Blind as a bat, he will lose his life.
My
But
ult's not ready.
now the pathing for Revenant Esports is very, very clear. They have to head towards this B site where Trist lies in wait. The MVP of map 1 now has to prove exactly what he's made of, and he might just catch them both off guard. The spray transfer is perfect.
Trist. Phantom also doing Phantom things right there. And Trist able to get just both of them down so easily. Mow him down, if you'd like to say. But now Paradox, he's got his hands on the showstopper, and that just increases my concern for Reckoning Esports even more. This man has been playing like a mad lad so far. And imagine him with a showstopper, who's with a huge bazooka on his back. Yeah. He's going to be a man to be feared.
Feared, maybe even remembered. I'm assuming that Reckoning Esports are almost never going to contest the Lamps area. They just know that some of these places where Paradox can just satchel in, they're just not worth it. Deadly obviously can play just as aggressively in response, but I don't think he's that built like that. Never mind, he does the exact opposite thing of what I expected him to. But even though Paradox blows him apart, they've taken down the majority of Revenant's forces, cut them down in half, and Trist once again firing on all cylinders.
Toxins going up.
Ching.
Toxin screen down.
Last glimmer of hope. The last star in the sky for Revenant. And at least he's able to find some sort of an impact.
Right here.
Gets one. Just like a thief in the night, able to steal that away. But he doesn't know that the rest of the team is just waiting for the floodgates to be opened up. The reveal was thrown in, but no one spot. This should give a little bit more confidence to the players of Reckoning Esports, considering the site's not taken away. But Ching, what was that shot?
And he's
his opponent's gonna remember that shot for sure. But Reckoning Esports, eventually they deal with the situation with a double peak. But those shots from Ching, oh my god, they were disgusting.
Definitely. I mean, in a situation like that, he had to go for the frags. The moment he taps that spike, everyone from Reckoning will just descend upon him. So he tries to thin the numbers first, which is a valid way to approach this game. Plus, he just deep commits into that angle, right? Sticks to the left side off elbow. And that way, there's no escape. He's fully in.
Smoke's down.
But I like how Reckoning Esports are taking control of Bath every now and then. They lost Bath just once in pistol round against Revenant. And ever since then, they have doubled down on this area. They even have a toxin screen placed just to stop any Revenant pushes from that region. But the other toxin screen that's been placed down by Ching facilitates their entry in towards Lamps. So this will always be a mind game that Revenant keep on playing.
Reckoning Esports, this time, playing a little pushed back.
Here.
Respecting their opponents, know that the threat level's now rised up. It's a little team flash, but it's still fine. At least the flash is gonna buy off a little bit more time. Revenant Esports being forced on an eco. They will need to make sure that every single bullet hits their target. They will need to count the bullets. Hershey's got his hands on the null command as well. If there is a quick burst on the site, maybe he will decide to pop, but considering his opponent team is on an eco, I highly doubt he will.
30 seconds left.
It's a brave decision to stick in there. Oh, Josh. Nice attempt with the shotty, but Twist will cut him down. Paradox responds. Juicy shot, and just like that, the spike is down.
All the time. And now even you see the orbital strike used as well. Deadly 10, able to sneak one under the rug. Not able to get the second one though. Blackhawk is ready with his own counter orbital strike. Utilize his stat, but unfortunately now they haven't really got a lot of firepower left over. Two last men alive. And right to a swift stash shot, and Reckoning Esports, they clean it up.
Not the boom.
Reckoning Esports were always meant to clean it up, but the fact that Revenant can get that plant down, it's actually quite good for their economy. Although, I kind of feel like if they probably held on to the orbital strike, it would have been nice. But hey, you gotta try everything that you can, right? And even then, they still have some decent amount of ultimates left. The Viper Spit on Ching can be a game changer. Unless Trist decides to use his own Viper Spit right off the bat, Revenant Esports can still barge in. But I like the way how Reckoning maintain their composure. They're playing so well and responding really well to what Revenant are doing. The brute force attack, Reckoning have a very unique way of responding to it. Oh my god, and look at this, they bring the heat of their own. A rare miss from the Showstopper, but they've taken control of this area. They take the pick and they fall back to safety as well. I think that's a win in Reckoning's books.
Indeed it is. Still, they haven't really found the knowing of what to do just yet. Considering Reckoning Esports once again able to get that man advantage secured in their hands early off, and that's a big threat neutralized in the name of Paradox. You don't need to worry about a mad lad anymore. Those maniac moves won't be there on the table. At Revenant Esports, there's a high chance now the brakes are installed in their strategies, and now they'll probably try to take a little bit of comfort level up to get this round in the hands. Reveals out. Voya not able to spot anyone, so they know that there's not the threat level's not just rising up just yet, but finally now it is. As Blackhawk and Right to Ace are able to spring this team back to life. Deadly 10 was able to get one in return, but that's all he's going to get. Now it's all down to the final two players of Reckoning Esports. It's a 2-on-3 scenario. Tristan's got the Viper's Pit, and even Hirsch has got his hands on the null command. But Hirsch not deciding to use that just yet. He wants to find the first opening. And that seems like it's been denied so far, but the Snake Spikes just took perfectly on the point. And Ching trying his best to keep his team alive inside this round, and he will.
This guy is just impossible to nail down. Just juggling in and out of that Viper's Pit, getting every single frag. It's so juicy to look at. But I must say, Reckoning Esports putting one hell of a fight. The Nightfall confirms all the information with so many trails emerging from that single ultimate. It was basically confirmed that Revenant Esports are about to hit. And then Revenant realized, yep, all our plans are foiled, our strategies have been revealed. Might as well full send it in. And guess what? The send in actually works. Almost all the ultimates from either side have been now utilized. So it boils down to the gunfights. Shing! It takes guts to swing out like that.
Oh man, but lost out on the Viper early off, so the first controller's not on the board anymore, but it's completely fine. Blackhawk, this man is just so good. Oh, he just plays the controller role, but still, the amount of firepower he brings to a team, it's incredible. Almost next to a duelist. Just way too good to handle for his opponents. All the time, Blackhawk is up with those impact frags and saves the day for his team at the last moment. And now Trist. Once again, the utility got trying to pull something off here. The snake bite's definitely chipping away a lot of damage, and already both the players are way too low. Now they're vulnerable. And yeah, a couple of bullets will be able to get the kill secured as well. Josh, he knows that there's one player in the back, but Right to Ace, that just buys him enough time.
Dude, why is it that every single one of these rounds is down to the wire? It always comes down to a 1v1, 2v2. And every single time, every single round, there's so many early fights. 10, 20 seconds into a round and it's already a 3v3. And this is a recurring pattern in all 8 rounds. Both these teams are here to play a very violent game of Valorant. In short, strategies be damned. It's entertainment that these teams want to give us, and I am so glad. Because both these teams have nothing to lose, and since their spot in the playoffs is more or less confirmed, rather, these guys can play the most reckless game of Valorant, and it will be so good to look at. I love these duels between both Deadly and Paradox.
And speaking about Reckoning Esports, right? This team has improved so much from Split 1. Yeah, and even in Split 1, this team was good, but now, Split 2, it just seems like they're another level. They're ready to take down some of the big Goliaths. But at least for now, Paradox, this man, he does not miss on those shots like that. Aim is too crispy for him, and you cannot expect him to whiff any of those shots like that. Trist now the last man up once again. Final soldier to be taken down. But there's one man Right to Ace. He's holding off the smoke, but a double peek to seal the deal.
Almost had the kill onto Ace. Phantom betrays him with the 140, but still, it was a cracking good round. Reckoning Esports put up quite a stellar defense. Revenant still able to overcome every single adversity. kill every single foe. I mean, yes, the utility dump that these teams are doing to help set up the fights is actually very impressive, but after first contact is made, everybody's plans are ruined, and then it just comes down to brawling. And at that point, the pendulum can swing in any direction.
I'm not gonna lie, Paradox and Blackhawk, they're starting to be a big hurdle for Reckoning Esports now. A cure needs to be found to stop these two guys. And the only way they're able to stop them is to get them taken off the game early off. As quick as possible. Just get them out of here. You don't want them against you, but Trist. Oh, nice way to start things off inside this one. The Sheriffs are really now starting to sting against their opponents. Trist will be falling back, but still a lot of damage was dealt onto himself with that paint shell. It's a 3-on-3 scenario. Equal chance for both the teams.
Yeah, but look at this round. I mean, you take a look at the positions and basically the roles have been reversed. Revenant are playing from positions where you will usually find the defenders, and Reckoning are playing in positions where you'll usually find the attackers. They wrap around each other, basically playing a dangerous game of ring around the rosies. But there are no roses except on the graves of these people. The orbital strikes thrown inside just to buy some time, but Reckoning Esports are already ahead of it. Deadly takes the first contact. Blackhawk down, dusted. Ace trying to beat along with his teammates, and he will be able to find one frag on the back of the surprise, but Paradox has to now come in clutch, and he does! What a flick onto Warrior! He maintains the lead for Revenant.
Dude, Paradox and his teammate Blackhawk, these two guys, they need to be stopped right now. They need to be stopped right here, right now. If a cure isn't found, then these two guys will start to run away with the rounds like thieves. And look at Reckoning Esports. I mean, it seemed like they pretty much had the lifeline back in their hands, considering how the Sheriffs are really starting to work for them. But then you've got man like Paradox who's not whipping any of his shots, and who's connecting every single bullet. He's counting every single bullet in his chamber, and he's making sure that it will be a fourth. Trist. A quick snake bite to make sure that lose the map control is not going to be taken away from Revenant Esports. So now Revenant, as they know that the Viper's Pit has already limited their presence by way too much, they can't do a lot. They do not want to step inside the microwave of poison. Instead, they just want to stay outside, take their time maybe, and Right 2 Ace is instantly going to utilize the Seekers too. But Trist, I like the fact that he's not standing in the way of those Seekers. Perfectly done. Trist able to find the one player Paradox. Paradox tried to walk in through the snake bite, but unfortunately got vulnerable doing so, and he got taken down. Such a nice way to play things off. Trist is just a brilliant man. He utilizes utilities perfectly. He's got the perfect aim as well. He excels in every single category of Valorant, and he showcases a good game of Valorant. Reckoning Esports, now they realize that Revenant, they've been stopped in the tracks.
Yeah, and they also know where those tracks lead to. The trails bring them directly towards Bat. And almost the entirety of Revenant Esports force looking to burst out of that area, and the bursts are successful. At least they kill Harsh. They still have to deal with the Viper's Pit towards a shot, but first they will clear out the back site.
What?
Oh, never mind, even Twist has been dealt with. Now this wasn't supposed to happen. Reckoning Esports, all they have to do is buy some time, and they did use the orbital strike to deny the plant to some extent. It still didn't help. Deadly has to step up, but the moment he tries to step up on the box, Ching will shut him down. It's all up to Flappin. Started off on the right note. Good shot onto Josh, and he now has to find the remaining two players. He knows that Blackhawk will be somewhere towards B shot, but Ching is still a mystery.
Smoke's down.
Smoke deployed on top. Hoping to tap the spike. He's actually gonna hold it. Alright then. This is a bit brave! And Ching, he punishes the bravery. No heroics while he's still alive.
Love to see it. And now Diddly 10. He's got his hands on the showstopper. This can be a game changer, of course, for Reckoning Esports. As they've realized now the rounds are starting to slip away from their hands. And something desperately needs to be done. Reckoning Esports, this timeout should definitely give them a huge sigh of relief, a breathing room, and also some new strategies should be updated. Some new table needs to be brought inside the strategy. Let's see what the coaches are going to talk over here, because Revenant, with the way they're able to get those picks, it it's hard to believe that they're even able to get those type of picks, and I think so those type of moves, those type of plays is what's catching the players of Revenant Reckoning off guard. 3-7's the score. The lead isn't that solid just yet, but if Revenant's able to get a couple of more rounds in their hands, then definitely the lead will be solidified. You do not want to move in forward towards the 9-3 half, because if the enemy team's able, if the team that is on the lead is able to also get the pistol round, that means that's going to be another hurdle on your way. So you would never want to rely on the first half. You will need to make sure that you're taking it as close as possible. So later on, you can still have a little bit of breathing space for yourself. No command and showstoppers available, and Reckoning Esports will probably try to plant something off of that. And let's exactly see what they plan. Dump Deadly 10, good way to start off. Fire to fire, speak about that, and this time his opponent's gonna take the fire against him. Paradox able to get 2 of his own with the paint shell, and also a kill onto Deadly 10. Showstopper not able to find the value that was expected. Unfortunate stuff for Reckoning, and within a blink, Reckoning's already down to just a 2-man squad, but they've still got the no command available, which they can rely on. Tristan on the flank, able to gain a lot of information and also a lot of map control. Hirsch with only a Guardian in the hands will need to tap out the skulls of his opponents. 2-on-3 man advantage, unfortunately, against him, but it's definitely doable. Hirsch creeping his way in. Viper's Pit is making things just even more difficult, and now that swap's also going to give his position away. The Hawk was perfect. Blinds out the opponent, but unfortunately Trist gets caught as well, and right to Ace plays that nicely. Round secured for his team, and Revenant Esports another round on the board. As I said, of course, the map of Bind, it's been always a strong suit of Revenant Esports, and that's what they're here proving to us. It's tough to steal Bind away from a team that has been excelling on this map.
That is precisely true. Although, I must say, even though Revenant Esports have a massive lead right now, it can still all get stolen away. Remember what happened in that game against Orangutan? They had a phenomenal 9-3 lead, but still lost the game. And given the way the Reckoning are playing, it shows that they know exactly what Revenant will be able to do. They have an idea about what their plans are. They're almost always able to figure out what's cooking. It's just that whatever that Revenant are able to cook up is just a bit too hot to handle, you know? You can't stop what you can't touch. So Revenant Esports using that brute force approach, just sledgehammering their way inside. And the Wolves have to fight now against a well-armed, well-poised opponent.
True that. And Hirsch still, he's got the null command available once again. Hirsch having a tough game of Valorant. Only able to secure 4 kills. Hopefully he's able to get away with the jitters that he's facing so far and is able to find that sweet spot for himself. Good suppress. Able to get those 2 players suppressed for now, and also the information was retained in the hand. Just trying to stop the players of Revenant, trying to buy some time off with the flashes as well.
It is quite weird to see Hirsch not playing alongside Deadly. Usually I would have expected him to set up Deadly for some really nice kills. But Deadly has been an absolute powerhouse towards the A side, so I would rather let him stay there. Meanwhile, Revenant Esports are not keeping their positions towards B a secret at all. They've dumped in quite a lot of util towards both the B site as well as Hookah, but they still haven't gotten an inch. And that's partially because Reckoning's Viper is holding them back, and when the Viper Toxin Fuels run out, that's when Hirsch will use his own utility. A lot of them get suppressed, so Reckoning are fully aware about Revenant's positions.
Here.
And even though there is a massive stack towards the B side, Revenant will be adamant to go inside. Slavin goes unchecked in the end, but finally the spray down comes through. Paradox is able to deal with at least a couple of them, but Reckoning show resilience in the last round of the half.
Switching
yeah, but as you mentioned, it's the last round of the half. Revenant, they still got 4 rounds lead. That means if Revenant's able to win the pistol round 2, you might as well seal the deal and just call it a day at that point. So this pistol round's definitely going to be a game changer, ladies and gentlemen. It's all going to come down to this pistol round. If we do take a look at this replay, Flavin could have been set up for an incredible play there, but unfortunately he got checked at the last moment. That flash was perfect too, just Flavin not able to find that swing on his opponents. Unfortunate stuff. But as I said, this pistol round is going to dictate the future or the second half of the entire game. But you all know what we need to do before that. It's time for us to take a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Bro, fridge meat के लिए, heat के लिए नहीं. Bro, this graphics card is making my frames drop. Come with me if you want a game.
The all-new Omen 16 with advanced Tempest cooling technology, now with 5 heat pipes and 4 thermal outlets. The Omen 16 with 12th Gen Intel Core i7 processor to make you forget your frame drops.
Now that's cool.
Game on with Tempest cooling.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Yes, I'm a Gen Z. Or should I say, the Gen Next. And I don't let fear hold me back from doing anything. I choose to move fearlessly to it all.
Hey buddy, we need you to trim your beard for this next scene.
What? Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I move fearlessly in most things, but I draw the line here. What if I Nico cut myself?
Try this.
Phillips.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As you guys saw the first half, it ended at the 8-4 note. As I said, if Revenant Esports are able to win the pistol round 2, then you might as well just call it a day, and Reckoning Esports will probably try to hope for the best on the third map. But if the pistol round's won by Reckoning Esports, then things can be flipped and it can be a more entertaining game.
It definitely will be entertaining. Although while we are speaking about that, I do apologize. I made a wrong statement before. I mentioned that we saw a similar scoreline in Revenant's game against Orangutan. The score was 8-4. I mentioned it as 9-3, so that's my bad. But yeah, we saw a similar score when Revenant were facing Orangutan. And once again, Revenant were leading 8-4, but Orangutan was able to make a comeback. Now I wonder if Reckoning can pull something off. Something similar. Currently, the paint shell landing directly on their feet, but they still go in unchallenged. They can't peek ahead of these smokes, and Reckoning are getting all the frags that they require. They even get one towards the bot region, but there's an instant backstab coming in from Ching, and this is much faster than expected.
Yeah, but they should not go for solo fights like that. Instead, Reckoning Esports should respect their opponents, and it's completely okay if they're still able to get the side control in their hands. Revenant Esports, they're up for a surprise, as every single player from Reckoning will start to book it to the B side all the way from the back, but Ching might just be ready. But he gets spotted, unfortunately, so his position's compromised. In the close, there's going to be another player in the name of Trist, and he's still able to get the man advantage back up for his team. A 3-on-2 scenario. Ching and his teammate, both of them are just walking pretty much from the same direction. And Flappin' quick taps on his enemy skulls.
Right in between the eyes, as Brimstone would say. That was a really nice setup. And Revenant had no idea how to respond to that one. At one point, Revenant thought that holding towards the back of A side would get them some results, because why would Reckoning push ahead of their own smokes? There's a backstab already coming in, and as soon as Revenant had a player placed towards lamps and maybe towards shots, Reckoning just ran through, powering through their enemy's spawn, running into the B site. It was a very quick rotation. both the teams is basically chasing after each other.
Trailblazers still there in the hands of right 2A's. But once again, it's just an eco round, so I don't think so. Revenant is expecting a lot. They're not going to have a lot of expectations from this round in general. Maybe just try to put a dent on the opponent's economy. Utilities are available a lot from the side of Reckoning, so they can use those to get those picks and also informational plays. But considering now Deadly 10's able to find that opening, but unfortunately the luck this time, the stars aren't aligned for him. Instead, it's going to favor his opponent. Ching was able to get one through the smoke, and Deadly 10 is left astonished.
Astonished, dumbfounded, and buried alive. But
Toxins going up.
Chris has almost run out of his toxin screen, so he can only activate one of these things at the same time. Now, knife being deployed will catch the lot of Revenant players, and Reckoning instantly book it to the B side once again. They've done this in the past, except this time they're going via the teleporters. Josh definitely will be good for one, given that he's holding a shorty. Can he find a double? No, he doesn't even get that single frag. That wasn't supposed to happen. Reckoning get away with the scot-free.
The crosser was on him, but that's just so shorty for you, you know? Sometimes unfortunately the RNG gods aren't just with you, and it doesn't work out for you, but it's fine. You've got Ching in the close quarters. He's been able to find those nutty shots on his opponents. He did get one more. Instantly, the full stop was there. Blackhawk, last man, is there, but soon will be dealt with. And now finally Reckoning Esports getting the heat back up inside the game, 8-6. We love to see it.
Yeah, and Reckoning Esports have been playing this game in quite a sweet and very fast fashion, you know? And it's different when I say fast for Reckoning. When I meant that Revenant were playing really fast on the attacking side, I meant that they were brute forcing their way in through these sites. But Reckoning are quick and nimble on their feet. They don't stay in one place for too long. If they find too much resistance in one of these sites, they have no hesitation rotating over towards the other area.
Look at me closes Ching. And yeah, this time he catches the bird in the sky. Wings clipped. And now you've got Ching just on doing some more damage against his opponent. Even Paradox was able to get two of his own. And now Hirsch is left all by himself with only Spectre in the hand. He can try to pull something off in the close range, but if the distance is made from the opponents, it can be a little bit of discomfort. I thought Revenant, both those players are going to die, to be honest. That was a little risky. They sort of were right next to each other.
Yeah, they almost did get taken down in one fell swoop. But that's what happens when Reckoning try to do the same approach as Revenant do. And Reckoning try to brute force their way into a site, even though Revenant have quite a lot of players stationed over there. Reckoning will get stopped in their tracks. Revenant somehow were able to magically make it work against every team they face. Their attacking side is just so in your face, it's almost like a sledgehammer. Launching a personification of a sledgehammer. Reckoning, on the other hand, they don't mind running around. They don't mind exploring multiple avenues and then deciding one very late into the round. So since they have so many backup plans, they can almost never get pincered by Revenant in one place. Prowlers being used to clear out, and while that area is down and out, Revenant are holding massively towards B long. There's a crossfire on the edge of that smoke. And that can turn and pivot to help out Josh as well in case Fuka gets leaked. Of course, now that Revenant have the A-shot area under lock and key via Ching's Viper's Pit, there's very few avenues where Reckoning can actually go. And as they try to go towards Shaw's, Revenant read this. They have sent Josh back to assist on the A site.
Look at this. Ninjas walking from showers. 4-player stack there, but unfortunately, Josh! He's gonna line those bodies, he's gonna stack them top of each other. Hirsch's wall is there to stop that chaos that Josh was creating, but it's not gonna matter. Revenant, their firepower's on the point. And Paradox will swoop up those last kills as well. Revenant Esports, oh man, they're really hitting their shots, and Reckoning Esports not able to reply back in style. This is gonna sting them so much. Reckoning now they've got the light armors back up, and Vandals and Phantoms are still on the board for them, and they've still got some utilities. So let's see, what are they able to make out of this round?
It's quite funny how Ching and Trist use the same wiper wall.
There.
I mean, we don't see too many variations of it. At least on the attacking side, we don't. But unlike Paradox, we haven't seen Deadly dash in towards the lamps very often. Paradox uses his satchels way more than Deadly does, and now that both these races are dead, the round drops considerably in pace.
Trist is way too low though.
Prepare for hellfire.
HP left over. That orbital strike's gonna force him out, and Voya was ready on either end. He found two for himself, but Josh, this man has tasted blood. He's like a Dracula, a vampire, just hunting for his enemies. And now 2 more to go in front of him. Only 4 bullets in the magazine. We'll need to get a fresh one, and he will do so. He's also got the Blade Storm up, but I don't think he's gonna try to use it.
Yeah, but he's got the spike right in front of his eyes. And he's so worried about getting flanked. He doesn't mind if Reckoning recover the spike somehow. They know that Reckoning will have to play together. Since he knows the positions of both those players being present on either side of that teleporter, he expects them to take their sweet time and reunite. And that's exactly why he's comfortable giving up the spike area as well. He will reposition towards B. Now this will be a great round for Josh unless Reckoning go towards A. And since that's not happening, he's set up for success. But Harsh knocks him down regardless. Reckoning survived that onslaught. And fortunately enough, Flabin had his orbital strike at the ready. As soon as Revenant tried to crunch them towards showers, they recognized what was happening, right? Revenant jumped 2 people into the showers, and the instant orbital strike was called down. A wave of hellfire and heat descends upon the skies. Cataclysm of thunder and fire just shakes the land as both these players are forced to step out of the teleporter doors, straight into the waiting arms of Reckoning.
Smoke's down.
Yeah, they catch him on the investigation.
Yep.
Now even the reveal still. Oh, this is so uncomfortable. But at least he's able to make it back alive. Josh able to strike one down with his operator, but Trist able to swing back and return the favor. Josh in the close quarters with still the shorty in his hands. He trusts that weapon quite a lot. At the first, it didn't work out. This time it will, but the instant trade up is there from the enemy. The refrag is perfectly on the board. The radar refragging, man, from Flabin. It's been a point so far. 3-on-2 scenario. Unfortunately, the positions are now going to be compromised.
Yeah, so Revenant know exactly where all of Reckoning's players are positioned, but what do they do about it? They're gonna have to shoot their way through. There's no way out of this one. Blackhawk already down to half HP. The spike already half gone, and now he won't even get to retreat. No weapon save for Revenant Esports.
Dreams are a fun
Reckoning
thing.
are desperately needed round, and they secure it. 10-8. Once again, the round lead that was there from Revenant Esports, it seems like now it's starting to get nullified. And a tactical timeout being called out as well. Revenant Esports, they haven't really got the weapons to stop Reckoning Esports in the track, and Reckoning Esports know now they're going to be in their comfort zone. But for Revenant, as I said, they will need to count each and every single bullet.
But can they craft that magic bullet? The silver bullet that will slay the Dracula? I don't think they've found that yet. No mythical weapons can slay these monsters. They'll have to devise something on their own. A weapon beyond the comprehension of all of mankind's horrors will have to be unleashed if Reckoning want to mount this comeback, if they want to end this series 2-0.
I don't exactly know what the game plan is going to be here for Revenant Esports, because the coach definitely did not have a lot of talking there. Probably this round is to get them a little bit of breather. Let's see what's going to be the end result over here. Blackhawk's the only one with a decent weapon. No, he even sells that. Doesn't want to go for it at all. No extra risks taken. They're relying on the upcoming round a lot. For Reckoning Esports, this round is definitely going to be quite a crucial one, of course. But the buy round from Revenant will be quite an important one for Reckoning too, to set the pace of the game for the upcoming future. Good flash, quick burst. Josh's position's known. and still keeps on pushing forward, but there's a refract instantly on the board from Flavin.
I didn't get to see those frags on screen, so
Yeah, the observer lost.
Yeah. That's okay. He'll make up for it, just like Reckoning did. But with Revenant still having so many ultimates to boot, they can still turn this round around. Trailblazer used once again just to check if Reckoning have extended further after the initial aggression from Revenant has died out towards B long. And then they start to push out once more. They haven't seen any presence elsewhere, so all the indicators are now pointing towards this bot push, and Revenant knew this! But now the beliefs have been confirmed. Paradox doesn't get away. The Seas captures him, but he doesn't want to move away. He's got the showstopper at ready, and he's repelling the invaders straight into right to ace, and he's catching all of them off guard. The flash once again, ready to peek out, ready to rumble, and he's got almost all three. Deadly responds with the showstopper of his own, and Paradox, he tried to make some moves, he tried to satchel away in safety, but no, Deadly will catch him in the explosion radius regardless, and now he's got the AWP. Position towards CT. Twist. He will be able to kill Ching, but Black Ops orbital strike will delay the spike plant and force them to reposition. Twist finally dies to the molly, and now he's perfectly poised. Deadly on the other hand, positioned away with the AWP. Perfect weapon to kill the perfect player. It has to be the perfect clutch over here because Blackhawk's got him right where he needs. He's got the weapon as well now. Nade goes beyond him. And Blackhawk has plenty of time to play with. He just has to bait out the peak from Deadly 10. But where will Deadly 10 come from? He comes from right from the same angle.
Nasty! Nasty shot in the end. I did not even see Deadly 10 on my screen. That's how quick that shot was. Oh man, but still that round got way too close for comfort. None of us expected it to go that close. But oh my lord. That was still a decent fight given from Revenant Esports. Almost. One more kill needed there to convert that round into a victory. And that was an eco round too. Could have been a solid thrifty.
Exactly, that was an eco round, and we've seen this from Revenant before. In both the halves, they commit a lot of their ultimates on these eco rounds. I can't even imagine what their success rate would be like if they actually use these in rounds where they have the weaponry to boot. But I guess we'll have to find that out another day, huh? That's a discussion on another timeline. In this dimension, things are looking up for Reckoning Esports. They're on their way up, they're climbing, crawling, and Revenant somehow are stumbling.
Blinded.
Ops on either side. Ace always knew they were players positioned towards B long, but the second flash, just to make sure that they're still there or not, will give him the answer he requires. Ching could have had a frag.
Oh my
but
god.
No! He moves away at the wrong time, and that leaves Paradox vulnerable. At least Ching makes up for it. But how will they deal with this Hellfire now that Lamps is out of control? They will have to stop this plant by themselves by fragging out, and Josh is up for the task.
Was able to get so many kills in the front, and now we're down to just a 3-on-2 scenario.
Spike planted. Last player
Spike's been planted too. Now the time's gonna start to tick away quick enough. But the shots from Hirsch was perfect at Trist to close the things off and draw a ceiling line. And also equalizing the lead that was created from Revenant Esports. Revenant Esports, now they're gonna start to sweat over here.
They will start to sweat. They will probably even start to check their wallets, see how much change they've got left. Just a one timing play, man. Ching was marking that angle all throughout the round, but the second he moves away is when Deadly just happens to peek, and instantly Paradox is taken away. You know, Paradox's utility, his boombots and his nades, were the only thing creating a problem for Reckoning when they tried to plant. He uses those nades perfectly just to delay the spike plant. I mean, to some extent, even Blackhawk has been doing the same thing, right? He will use his orbital strike towards Struck, force one player to go towards the triple box, and then kill him with the molly. So, Revenant have been disrupting Reckoning's attempts to plant this spike every now and then. And how do Reckoning respond? I mean, sometimes they wait it out. Sometimes they bait the utility. On other occasions, they just dive into the other side, you know? Either by pushing towards CT or by jumping into the TPs. They always have a backup plan.
A technical timeout. But in that technical timeout, definitely something's being passed on over there. Hopefully this technical timeout is going to be gotten rid of as quick as possible. Look at that Pikachu on top of Hirsch's monitor. I think so that's kind of like the power that Hirsch is getting. He's getting the power from that Pikachu.
I wonder who's going to be the Ash Ketchum of the team.
I guess him, because he's got the Pikachu.
Yeah. I mean, instead of throwing those red and white Pokeballs, he's probably going to chuck fragments at his opponents. And I would take that fragment nade any day. Considering that he's got this kind of a soft toy on top of his monitor, do you expect Reckoning to pull off a Gecko game anytime in the future?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think so. They will probably will. Considering Reckoning's strong suit is the map of Lotus, they like to play that quite a lot. I think so. Gecko can be a good combination if they do want to experiment around.
I think even Pearl can be a pretty good map.
Yeah.
I think Pearl is like the only map where Gecko has more than 50% win rate. On every other map across the 3 VCT regions in Americas and EMEA as well as Pacific, Gecko has been like more or less irrelevant on any other map except for Pearl. I mean, sure, people pick him in split every now and then, but the success rates are just simply not there.
Considering Reckoning is one of those teams that likes to experiment quite a lot, right? And we know their adaptive nature is quite good too, considering how they're adapting against Revenant Esports inside this matchup. I think so even if they do try to implement Gecko on any map, if they do want, I'm pretty sure they will be able to adapt to it quickly enough. And I think so Deadly 10's having some sort of issues.
So far we've seen like 2 Gecko games. First one was by Atuka from Astarami. Next, True Rippers picked it up. And both of those times the Gecko was used on split. Wait, I think we did see one game on Pearl as well. Dude, I'm telling you, something is happening to my memory. I've been watching so much Valorant that I start confusing one game for the other. And everything's just one big haze. While we've got this technical timeout, give me a couple seconds, I'll look up who all have played Gecko in this tournament up until now.
I mean, I wasn't really here a lot for the split too, so I don't really remember.
I know, right?
Yeah,
you missed out on quite a lot of good stuff, by the way.
I mean, yeah, man, what can you do, bro? Sometimes priorities. But yeah, for now, we've got the teams over here. I mean, this technical timeout can also stop the momentum that was built up so far for Reckoning.
Are you ready? Loads पढ़िए Valorant की nodes थोड़े से पीछे से जैसे वाइपर का असली नाम क्या है? वाइपर के असली नाम देवी वगैरह नहीं है, असली अच्छा नाम है। नहीं, नो आइडिया। पता होना चाहिए यार। अब इसी पे तो मैं तुम्हारे को टाइट करने वाला हूँ। चलो चालू करते हैं रैपर। सबसे पहले एक ऐसा एजेंट रात के 2 बजे खेलो 3 बजे खेलो तुम इंस्टॉल लॉक करोगे 5 सेकंड है ASTER। मैं पता कौन सा हीरो खेलता बताओ? यूरो। जेट यार, जेट में सिल्वर। आप बताओ आप कौन सा हीरो खेलना? मैं सोवा। अगर आप डेट पे जा रहे हो और आपके डेट को वैलेंट पसंद नहीं है तो क्या करोगे? डेट से भाग जाएंगे क्या? ये तो बहुत सेफ है। कुछ मस्त बताना, कुछ में ऑर्डर समथिंग क्रेजी फॉर आना। कोई नहीं डेट के टाइम में बोलेंगे वैलेंट नहीं खेलते हैं, बाद में खेल लेंगे। वो सामने को पसंद नहीं, सामने वाले ने तुझे जज कर दिया कि है तू प्लीज वैलेंट। बहुत हार्ड है क्वेश्चन है, बात तो सही है। ऐसे पुच को फेंक के मारे, पुचका बोलते हैं ना बंगाली में उसको, ऐसे पुचका फेंक। चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं। मोस्ट ओवररेटेड प्लेयर है कौन? 5 जल्दी बताओ, उंगलियां कब हो रही है? जल्दी बोल डोमिनिक। 2 नेक्स्ट खाली। हाँ तेरे 5 सेकंड। बैटमैन। ये तो देख के घर से आया था। बैटमैन और एक्सकाली क्यों? के टू एक्सप्लेन। इट्स ओके। ठीक है, कुछ चीज़ें सवालों के साथ ही खत्म हो जाए तो अच्छी। एक ऐसी इनवाइटेड टीम जो अपना स्पॉट डिजर्व नहीं करती। Godlike। डोमिनिक क्यों? सेम। वाई? सबको पता है उनका कोर ही बहुत वीक है, बाहर के जितने भी प्लेयर लेके फायदा क्या है। और वैलोरेंट कम्युनिटी को स्टार्टिंग से सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहा तो उसको सीधा लीग में स्लॉट नहीं मिलना चाहिए मेरे हिसाब से। बात तो सही है, पर जाने से पहले आई वांट यू गाइस टू गिव अ स्मॉल मैसेज टू द फ्रेंड्स, फैमिली, 3-4 गर्लफ्रेंड्स होंगी। भेज
वही बोलना चाहूँगा लाइक ग्राइंड करो, स्टेज में आना है।
मम्मी को बोला तो ग्राइंड करो सीधे।
मम्मी को नहीं बोलते हैं इसको।
सही इमोशनल मैसेज देना यार।
वही मम्मी तो देख ही रही होगी, मतलब देखेगी वही, क्या बोलूँ।
पहुँच मम्मी कैसे अब बोल। थैंक यू सो मच
Thank you
फॉर
so much
सपोर्टिंग मी।
फॉर सपोर्टिंग मी। पापा को बताना मत वगैरह।
आप बोलना चाहते हो?
पढ़ाई वगैरह तो नॉर्मल हो गया अभी तो 2-3 साल के बाद गेमिंग रहेगा, तो पढ़ाई करके कुछ होगा नहीं तो आ जाओ गेमिंग में। आ जाओ।
पेरेंट्स को
पेरेंट्स सॉरी नवेली, आपको अभी गेमिंग अच्छा ना लगे बट इसमें फ्यूचर है।
और जब ये वापस आएगा तो ढेर सारी दबेली लेकर आएगा। दबेली चलती है ना पूरे में अभी, मैंने खाई थी अच्छी थी। सो थैंक यू सो मच गाइस, गुड लक, अच्छा खेलना। सो गाइस ये थे हमारे डॉक्टर एंड डोमिनिक। आज वी बैक विद मोर फेसेस ऑन दिस बूस्टेड रेडिएंट सेगमेंट। टिल देन यू गाइस गो गेम। Everyone, my name is Krat and welcome to Boom Bots. इस सेगमेंट में सारी टीम से 2-2 बॉट्स आएंगे और मैं अपने सवालों से उनको कर दूंगा बूम। That's why we're calling it Boom Bot. So इस क्रेजी सेगमेंट के अंदर हमारे पास है मेडल स्पोर्ट के 2 बड़े प्लेयर्स।
My name is Rishabh Gupta. My in-game name is Easy. I play Sentinel for Medal Esports.
My name is Prashalwani. My in-game name is Sticky. I am a duelist for MLT Esports.
So सिंपल सा सेटअप है भाई। मेरे पास कुछ तेज क्वेश्चंस हैं और तेज जवाब आने चाहिए।
Okay, ट्राई करेंगे।
ऐसे 5, 4, 3 तो फटफट, टाइम नहीं दूंगा मैं बिल्कुल भी। स्टार्ट विद इजिया। नेम 3 कंट्रीज विद द लेटर Z।
Zimbabwe.
You don't have much time, like fast. Zimbabwe हो गया। Do more. देखा जो 3 है ही नहीं। So it was a trick question. Zambia, Zimbabwe, Zambia और तीसरा है नहीं। So basically चेक करना था, मुझे पता था, मैं जानबूझ के ऐसा किया। सेकंड आपसे पूछेंगे, इंसान के शरीर में सबसे बड़ी हड्डी कौन सी होती है?
स्पाइन।
बैकबोन।
नहीं पता।
जांग, फीमर। बैकबोन छोटे छोटे हिस्सों में होती है, एक बोन नहीं है वो। बिगेस्ट कंट्री इन द वर्ल्ड।
रशिया। रशिया।
मैं देख रहा था तुझे कॉन्फिडेंस है नहीं है, बिकॉज़ मुझे भी तो अभी पता चलेगा ना। अभी जो नया कैरेक्टर आया कौन सा नाम है उसका?
गेको।
स्पेलिंग क्या है उसकी?
GEKKO।
सही बता तो जवाब तू देगा। What is a gecko's nationality? हिंट चाहिए आपको?
हाँ।
नहीं है।
नहीं
टाको खाते हो आप?
मैक्सिकन।
US से है, मैक्सिकन का वो नेशनलिटी ऐसा।
मैं स्पेनिश और मैक्सिकन में कंफ्यूज हो रहा
था। चलो अब ये बता दो, अभी हमारे देश का एक हिस्से का छोटा सा मैप बनाया गया है और ये आसान लग रहा है आपको?
नहीं।
वो बता। लोटस कहाँ पर है हमारे देश में?
थोड़ा सा हिंट दो मुझे।
पान खाते वहाँ पे।
अरे ये कैसा हिंट?
आप बताओ, लोटस मैप हिंदुस्तान के किस कोने का बनाया गया मैप?
उत्तर प्रदेश। भाई सूखते हैं ना
वेस्टर्न घाट्स।
बनारस। उत्तर प्रदेश का ही है बनारस।
मतलब थोड़ा एग्जैक्ट बताओगे ना तो हिंदुस्तान बोल दो, खत्म करो, है ना? हमारे इस गेम में वैलोरेंट के अंदर सबसे बुजुर्ग एजेंट कौन है और सबसे नौजवान एजेंट कौन है?
ओल्डेस्ट इज ब्रिमस्टोन और ब्रीच।
भाई बहुत बढ़िया, अपने लिए ताली बजा।
गलत बोला मैंने।
सही है भाई, तो कॉन्फिडेंस है तेरे में। अब यंगेस्ट बता, इससे ज्यादा क्या कर सकता हूँ? ये इसे कौन करता है अल्टीमेट?
नियॉन।
नहीं खेली ना? अरे तुम यार
चेंबर प्लेयर हूँ मैं।
सेटिनल प्लेयर कहाँ ड्यूलिस्ट खेलने को मिलता है?
तो फिर
हमारी टीम में ड्यूलिस्ट कौन है?
यही है पूल सब सारे।
इसको भी नहीं पता चला। देख इसे पूछ, ऐसे कैसा क्यों? पूछ इससे।
उसका दिमाग थोड़ा कम काम करता है, पूरा वो गेम में यूज कर लेता है।
वाइपर का असली नाम क्या है?
ओह मुझे पता है।
आपके से पूछा ही नहीं मैंने, आप क्यों फिर? आप तो रूल तोड़ रहे हो।
मैं पास ऑन कर सकता हूँ।
हाँ करो
पास।
सबीन।
आगे
पता नहीं।
शर्मा। 2900 रुपए की, 2900 क्रेडिट की और कौन सी बंदूक आती है?
2900 कितने होते हैं?
29। अरे अच्छा ब्रो, इंग्लिश बोर्ड्स यू नो टैक्स ब्रो। 2900 क्रेडिट्स की फैंटम छोड़ के कोई और वेपन बता दो।
वैंडल।
ब्रो दिस इज टफ वन ब्रो, यू नेल्ड इट। सब तालियां बजा दो स्टूडियो में जितने लोग हैं। ठीक है अब एक और फिर से। फ्रेंजी में एक मैगजीन में कितनी गोलियां होती है?
30।
चलो भाई फिर से बजा दो। कैसा लगा ये सेगमेंट? इट वाज फन?
Yes,
it was fun,
it was fun.
Yes.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
तुम्हें लगता है कि तुम्हारी जगह कोई और होता टीम से तो बिल्कुल रायता फैला देता?
नहीं।
तुम लोग बेस्ट रायता फैलाने वाले।
Yes.
जाने से पहले एनीथिंग यू वांट टू से टू फैंस, फैमिली, गर्लफ्रेंड तो होंगी तेरी इस जुल्फे जो लेके घूम रहा था?
Thank you everyone. Thank you parents, girlfriends, brothers,
अरे
fans.
माता रानी
Girlfriends.
Thank you everyone for supporting me. I really appreciate it. I am out here chasing my dreams.
जल जाए सर जी आप बताइए
Thank you for supporting me till now. I hope you guys support me throughout my whole career. Like this LAN is like something for me to prove, and I hope you guys support me.
So ये तुम्हारी ट्रिकी और इजी बहुत मजे करे और स्पेशली टू ट्रिकी नाइस है बेस्ट ऑफ लक गाइस नो प्ले योर बेस्ट
Thank you very much.
सो और चेहरे आएंगे इन सोफे पे बैठेंगे और हम करेंगे ढेर सारी मस्ती अगली वीडियो में टिल देन यू गाइस गो गेम
Came for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully we are dealt with that technical issue that was going on, but I'm not gonna lie, I like those interviews. It was quite a fun segment.
I like how Krat just gives them simple questions, but he poses it in a way where it sounds really complex. It's the duality of man. He's a mysterious guy, you know? Never know what's going on in his head. I guess I can say the same for Revenant as well, because every now and then they've been throwing these surprises, and it does become a little difficult to figure out what's going on in the head.
9-10. So I guess one round's taken away from Revenant's books. From Reckoning's books. Oh, so because of that technical issue, I guess that round was pretty much secured by them. So Reckoning will need to fight for this 10th round once again. The round's taken away from that book, so we thought the lead was nullified, but still there is one round lead in the hands of Revenant. Let's see what Reckoning can do now, considering the strat they used to take the previous 10th round in the hand's been taken away.
Yeah, and now that Flabbin's dead, they don't have any backup options of going to its B. They have to creep into its A, and they've done a good job of doing so. They've already taken Lamp's control. They just need to find a way to plot the spike now without losing too many of their members. And even Revenant are adapting really well, you know? Since they've got Paradox already holding Shahs, he can deny the spike plant, while everyone else on Revenant are just making sure that Reckoning don't take control of the back of A site. This is something that Reckoning have done quite a lot in the past, where if plant doesn't go in their favor, they just continue pushing onwards and then use the defender spawn to hit the B side instead. Paradox dodges the 0 point just in the nick of time, but Trist almost had him. Now Paradox will use the nade just to isolate the planter, but Trist will still kill him. That's a lot of pressure alleviated.
Really, indeed it is. Trist able to find that first clean frag, and then the rest of his team just starts to rotate towards the B site. Blackhawk throws in a molly, denying the entry towards the side, and also connect those shots. A good flash to get the entry on the site. Boya will find the footing.
10 seconds.
But Deadly 10 still on that. Sheriff is able to find that shot. A skull cracking one, a good one. A 2-on-2 scenario left over now. A lot of hopes and dreams in the hands of Woya. He's the only one on the site. We'll need to try and do something miraculous, that's for sure. The man's on the left. Woya knows where exactly Ching is too. Ching peeks out. Position compromised. A good reveal. Ching's position known exactly where he is. The live tracking was there, but Ching connects the headshot. And also a little bit of BM.
Yeah, I really thought that Woya would try to go for the wallbang right there. And he could have pre-fired. But Ching, he wins the aim duels. Mechanically superior. And he gets Revenant the much-needed 11th round. But the trouble isn't over yet. Reckoning have quite a lot of money built up. And this bankroll will facilitate them to arm themselves to the teeth once more. And they still have some money left on top of that as well. So even if Reckoning lose this round, I think they can muster up another buy after this one. If not a full buy, then at least a cheap one for sure.
Prepare for hellfire!
Operators on the aggressive pace this time in the off angle. Shot whipped. At least Revenant's able to swing back. 1-0. Josh is able to find another one. Deadly 10's able to get the retaliation back in his hands, but this man is not missing the shot with the up. And then even with the short, he's able to get those kills in the hand too. Just trying to bob and weave those bullets, trying to dodge it away, but Flabbin eventually connects that spray. He doesn't know there's two players approaching him from the showers. Right outside the showers too. Flavin's just so known to that fact. A good smoke. Smokes away the spike too. Don't exactly know what type of mind games this man's trying to bring on the table, but soon enough, he's gonna get flanked from the back, and he needs to be aware of that fact. Flavin's got his back turned around, but he won't be able to get the timing in his favor.
My goodness. He just deploys a whole sea of smokes over there. Vision not just cut off, but literally impaired over here for Revenant Esports as he makes his escape. But he still doesn't have information on where they are. He did see the early flash from right to Ace, so it's safe to assume that Ace will still be on the Ace side, but he doesn't know where Blackhawk could be. And because Blackhawk has been lurking around all this time, he will always remain a mystery. 20 seconds left. Flavin has to plant the spike soon.
Oh my god.
But knowing him, he will probably try to go for a kill first. Molly to cut off the entrance to this defender spawn, and now it's been done. He's boxed himself into this round. Has to pick up these fights, hopefully one by one, but Blackhawk will not give him the satisfaction.
Wow. That one round reversed, and now Reckoning Esports, they're just falling on top of their faces. The momentum being broken because of that technical pause as well, and now Reckoning Esports not able to put a full stop to the string of rounds that Revenant is able to build up. The series of rounds is definitely given a lot of confidence for Revenant. And might as well, they will probably able to run away with the round, with the map win too. One more round needed, ladies and gentlemen. Currently on the match point is Revenant.
What was this round? Just fighting right from the beginning. Revenant Esports, they take violence a little too literally. So many pushes out from a shot. There's 3 people charging in. At the same time, the rest of Revenant Esports are also wrapping around from shot. So they just gamble on the fact that Reckoning will fight them to its A as well, and they just hit it. I wonder what would have happened if Reckoning weren't attacking A that round. What would have happened if they went to its B? They thought they could have avoided this entire push out. And once again, they do something similar. A 3-man push towards A shot, nets them the kill onto Trist. And now the rest of them are forced to make moves towards B. But as soon as Flavin peeks out of the smoke, Ace is ready.
He is. 3 and 5. Reckoning Esports once again, they find themselves in a disadvantage, but luckily for them, they've got one man posted up on the site. Voya is able to get one on the long. He knows that there's another player in the name of Right to Ace, but this time Right to Ace denies it. Voya, the last man alive, a 1-on-4. He's got nothing else to do than to commit to this take because it's the last round. Clutch or die and lose this map. Operators in the front. And Josh is just waiting for him to peek out. As he does, the shot was baited away. Voya able to find that sweet target in the front. Josh falls back, gets revealed. Voya still keeping his calm and composed nature to get this round secured in the hand. Wants to get the clutch situated, but Paradox has got the timing.
He's got the timing. You leave him with a mop and a bucket and he will clean things up. Just as we expected, Revenant Esports take find for themselves. Reckoning take their map pick, Lotus. And both these teams have played to their strengths, perfectly utilizing their inherent strengths to just get this map in the bag. The characteristics really personify what this team is made of. And now we're heading into map 3. Supposed neutral ground for both these teams, but is that really going to be neutral ground? Is that really going to be a map where we get to see a full fair fight? We'll find out on the other side of this break.
Can't for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Feeling under pressure.
Ladies and gentlemen, soon enough, we're going to move on forward to the third map, which is going to be the Decider, Fracture, and also YouTube audience. Welcome back to Valorant Challenger South Asia Split 2 to the last day of the league stage. And now we're going to move on forward to the Decider map, Fracture. As we do take a look at the agent select in front of us, and this is something that's going to be a huge and a crucial icebreaker. Flabin definitely having a lot of signs of worry on his face. He's got his hands pretty much crossed up as well, because he knows the amount of pressure his team has right now. It definitely can be a heartbreaking situation for his teammates and also the people that are supporting him currently. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, keep this thing in mind. This is not going to be an elimination matchup at all. Instead, this is a matchup to find out which team is going to get better seed inside the playoffs and also the bragging rights. So even if Wrecking lose, or even if Revenant loses out in this matchup, they are going to be safe and they will be making it to the playoffs. So nothing to worry about. You guys can relax, sit back, and take your popcorns and enjoy the entertaining show that Revenant and Reckoning Esports are putting up. And Revenant, they're going to start off with the heat right off the bat. They're going to take the attacking side.
Right there.
Usually on the pistol round, Revenant is one of those teams that does not like to waste time at all. Instantly, they like to take the heat against the enemy team. And that's what it seems like this time as well. Tremor's being used to stun anyone towards the dish. Flabbin falls back. And now it's an entire army of Revenant Esports just coming through the dish area. Flash is there to try and force him out of that spot, but Flabbin in the close with the frenzy was able to deal a lot of damage, but Ching is still able to get those shots connected. This man, Ching, I don't understand how he's able to connect those shots like that all the time. This man is one of the most consistent players. Does not miss shot at all. Right to ace with the frenzy in the hand. Now it's locked down a one-on scenario. Voya, he's only got a shorty in the hand. Not a good news. He will need to close the distance against Right to Ace. We'll need to take it up close and personal, and Right to Ace is not going to do that.
Spike planted.
Retrieves the ghost in the hand, and now he's got the better gun. Ghost back through comes in. I don't understand. Why does he go for that shorty pick once again? A bad decision cost him his life. Over there, instead, he could have tried to play on the ghost once again, and at least he would have had a fair share of chance to convert that round in his team's favor. But he went to pick up that shorty and got taken out. Outplayed himself. This is what I call falling off your own shoelaces. Take a look at the compositions too. Revenant Esports, a classic composition. You've got the Breach, Cypher, Fade, Raze, Brimstone. Classic composition. On the other hand, Boya, the Sentinel this time. The Sentinel is going to be in the name occasion. If you ask me personally, what Sentinel do I prefer on this map? It's tough to say. Both of them are equally good. They have their own use. It all comes down to which player is suitable for what type of agent, and that's what they'll probably prefer to pay. Revenant Esports, side entry secured. Spike goes down too.
Spike planted.
Considering it's an eco round for Reckoning Esports, they will probably try to take the risk, but if they are going to make sure that they're probably not going to give away these points in the opponent's hands, then that would just be a +1 for Reckoning. It's in their hands what to do or not to. It's Josh, just good flash. Forces back the opponent's bit more. Flabbin in the close. Add the shorty in the hand. Boya from the back is able to make work. 3 kills found. It's a 2-on-2. You blink it and you miss it out of nowhere. This round now seems doable. And what a shot from Deadly 10. A quick scope on the head of Ching. And Deadly will probably try to make it half. And he does. Once again goes for the tap. And another shot to seal the deal. How is Reckoning able to convert that round into a victory? That seems next to impossible to believe on. And Deadly 10 also gets his ultimate online. Blade Storm right off the bat in his hands. It's only been 2 rounds. And he's already got his hands on the Blade Storm. This is unbelievable. It felt like it's going to be a hot knife through butter from Revenant Esports, but then Reckoning, they have this fire that's being ignited within themselves, and then Deadly 10 in the end pull off the clutch to save the day. I talked about the mistake that was being made by Voya in the first round, but it's not even going to matter at this point. Converting that Thrifty, that anti-eco in your hands, perfectly done, and now Deadly 10 is going to be deadly as always. You give this man an opening, you give this man a chance to bite you, and he will make sure that the venom's going to spread through your body as quick as possible. And Revenant, once again, being forced in the back step as Blackhawk is making his way through the arcade area.
Deadly has been just so good on these martials, dude. It's not even funny how he pulls off that clutch, and he still gets the opening frag. That's ace out of the bag already. Even Ching is very low on HP. just before they break the alarm bot, Nanoswarm's triggered.
Good kills. Reckoning Esports. Yeah. definitely not working out in their favor. And now Reckoning Esports, they're starting to line up these bodies on top of each other. Another one to go and a flawless round.
They keep it clean. And they don't even have to upgrade all the weapons. Deadly, you basically said, yeah, I probably don't need an upgrade. I'm just going to play with the Marshall. If something goes wrong, I can always pop the Blade Storm. Timing of these utilities is perfect. Fault line lands on the feet of that guy as soon as Warrior is ready to fight him. And he doubles up as well. Great stuff from Reckoning so far, stealing away the momentum that Revenant had in the pistol round. But now that Revenant have the buy again, how do they push in? It seems like a fast B crunch. And it would be pretty fast because Josh has a Rolling Thunder already.
Grenade!
Off your feet!
Speaking of the Rolling Thunder, and it's going to be utilized. Not even wasting a moment to use that one. Yeah, it does find the entry, but you've got players like Woya who are just blocking the road with the guns, and the bullets are able to find the skulls of their opponents. Blackhawk turns around, slaps Deadly back in the grave. Deadly taken out. 2 on 4. Voya's got his hands on the lockdown too, but I don't think so. They're even going to think of utilizing it. It's a 2 on 4. Man advantage is there, and Flabin's now starting to push up the limits.
Reckoning positioned themselves to success. So many of them ready to intercept Revenant Esports. And one might feel that Revenant with the early Rolling Thunder give away what they're up to, but still you have to understand that facing a Rolling Thunder like that isn't really easy. All the mollies were used by Flabin just to keep everyone at bay, and that buys them a little bit more time, just to make sure that everyone's back to their senses. They're not concussed anymore. Plus, on top of that, so many of these Reckoning players comfortable peeking out of the smokes that Blackhawk has laid down. That really throws Revenant in for a toss.
About a toss. And right now, he's getting a little impatient, as he does manage to find the first one. Once again, initial pick found. Reckoning so far, it seems like this is their playground, and Revenant, they're playing the game of Reckoning. And Reckoning is currently in the driver's seat. They're able to fiddle with the mind of Revenant, and now Revenant, considering the common strategies aren't really working out on the map of Fracture anymore, because Reckoning, they're just having a stronghold on the site so far. They're also able to connect those shots, but as soon as I say that, Ching strikes back and springs his team into lifeline.
Smokes on Amin, about to run out, and they knew the Triss was over there. Exactly. Great stuff. Good recovery from Revenant Esports. And with this, Blackhawk has his orbital strike again. This will give them enough time to plant. But with the Cypher ult going off, it will give them even more information. Now all that they need is in the palm of their hands. Jing even has a weapon now.
One enemy
the only thing that can probably save them are a bunch of headshots, and it's all up to Jing now. Pinned against the wall. He has to fight this. He can't hope to avoid the aftershock and the bullets at the same time, and he will be peppered to death.
Tuck. 4th round, Crips. 3 rounds lead already. As I said, it feels like Reckoning Esports, they're in their driving seat. Nicely done on the defending side. As I said, this map feels like an attacking sided map, and if Reckoning is able to do so good on the defense, man, you can already imagine what the course can be, what the outcome can be on the attacking.
I'm more concerned about the economic trap that Revenant find themselves in. Sure, they have a good enough loadout this round, but if they don't do something soon enough, they will be trapped in this perennial hell of purchasing and ecoing round after round, and you know how difficult it is to get out of that vicious cycle. Triss with the guiding light, sees all the presence he needs, but he has to fall back because of the fault line. Now another fault line has been put up, and this flash is perfect. He gets so many of them, and if that's not enough, Harsh will burn them alive. What? My God! Firing through that orbital strike, getting every single frag. That round is over before I can even finish my sentence.
Oh boy! A mower. A perfect flash. Peeks out. Gets 2. Also got the back above his teammate. Oh my God, this is just perfect. And for the opponents, it's a huge nightmare. Reckoning Esports, they knew that the opponent would be on a buy round, and now once again, as you said, they're trapped in this cycle where they're going to be forced back to the eco. There is a showstopper in the hands of Paradox, which he'll probably try to use to create some sort of space for his team. But how much space can a solo man get? That's my question. Considering you don't even have the superior gun to back you up, you will need to make sure that every single bullet should be counted. And Paradox wanted to overextend. His senses were tingling there, but he controls himself in that situation and says, no, not anymore. You need to play patient. You need to be disciplined.
It's just one of those rare rounds where Revenant have actually got the plant down without getting too many of their players taken away. He tried to break the lockdown with the satchels. Fails, but that's okay. They will gladly give up the space. Paradox still has the showstopper to turn things around. Trailblazer discovers 2 over there, so now it's up to Roya to somehow deal with them. But Paradox, he can't be dealt with. Trist is spending too much time on him. Meanwhile, the rest of his teammates are already on the strike. Deadly sticking to defuse. And Ching has a hailstorm of bullets headed towards him. He can't even peek out.
Nicely done. Still an operator in the hands of Deadly 10, which he can try to use. And this operator is gonna sting so deadly later on. Once again, a pie round for Revenant Esports. An instant tactical timeout being called as well. Makes sense. If you're getting grinded upon like that, then you definitely do need a relief. You definitely do need a little bit of breather. This tactical timeout should do that too. And also some valuable information should be fed to the players by the coach.
Yeah, because so far, Revenant Esports, in the previous 2 maps, those brute force attacks were actually working out really well for them. But now, Reckoning seem to have found the antidote. They parry all of that back by just sending counter-util at the perfect time. And because Revenant are not hitting the brakes at all, they keep running into this meat grinder that Reckoning have set up. I mean, there's always something or the other that just catches them off guard, right? Sometimes it's the flashes from the sky, sometimes it's the orbital strike, which, by the way, has been used a bit too often in this entire half. We've only seen like 8 rounds, and yet multiple orbital strikes have been invested. And if that isn't enough, if that is not enough, Voya just always seems to have the utility placed at the right place. So Revenant can't even surprise them by just spreading out and making their defaults work. This time it's another spread out from Revenant. They have 3 members stationed towards B-Link, not B-Link, B-Main. And they wanted to make an aggro push over there, but they go towards Underground instead. Meanwhile, they've got Ching sneaking in from Dish, and Ace holding for a push towards A-Main.
Bring them down.
Trailblazer to be responded with a Prowler. And now they discover where the AWP is. So now do they avoid him? Or do they continue challenging onwards? Ace was never supposed to be the guy who challenges this area. He was only supposed to make sure that Reckoning don't get too much control. And while Reckoning do have A under lock and key, B side still seems somewhat vulnerable. They have to deal with the nano swarms. Paradox ignores all of it, dashes into the site, and straight into the arms of Voya.
And Voya will greet him. Another one found from Voya. Finally, Ching is able to take him out. But at the cost of what? Losing 2 of your teammates and also giving the man advantage away to the enemy team. Revenant Esports, at this point, they can't afford that. Another one gets taken down. As I said, Reckoning, it feels like they're currently in the driver's seat, but right to Ace is adamant to steal it away. He wants to take control of the steering wheel, but it's completely okay. Deadly 10, he's got the key in his pockets.
And the spike right in
is
front
in
of
his
him.
hands. Yeah, that's what he's relying on completely, but unfortunately the timing, it might just work against him. Ching was able to sneak in and also gets the crucial frag. Flavin still inside towers, his position's compromised. Not a lot of time left over, 10 seconds. They're quite desperate, and Flavin peeks up, but right to Ace is connecting his shots.
Tactical timeout works out brilliantly. Revenant dropped the pace, and Reckoning dropped the round. Great stuff from Revenant Esports. I also like how Ace just made that really, really risky play. Ace usually isn't the kind of person who does that. You know, he's a very calm and composed player. Yes, Revenant do take risks, but it's usually Blackhawk and Paradox who do those kind of plays. You know, Ace isn't the kind of guy who dives across his own teammate's smoke and catches his opponents off guard. But this time, he was desperate to do so. And that play got them the space they needed to plant. He pulls one out of Flavin's book. Flavin has been disrespecting the smokes that Blackhawk puts up every now and then. And that kind of was the undoing of Revenant in round number 3 and 4. So Revenant used the same trick against them. fast A-crunch this time. There are plenty of defenders stationed over here, but maybe Paradox can blow them apart. Blow them to smithereens. Even the Hellfire is invested, and Blackhawk burns apart Twist, but not before he takes one down. It's still a 3v3. 2 plays down from either side, and 2 ultimates invested from Revenant. Net them a plant. Just in the nick of time too, because Blackhawk, the Aftershock forces them out, and Voya is ready to receive him.
2-on-3 scenario.
Last player standing.
Door sound is heard, and a Hirsch just swings out, and Ching meets his makers. And right to 8, the last hurdle was there, but he will be dealt with too. What a chaotic round. At the start, the showstopper was used to nullify Deadly 10. But Deadly 10 was taken out, but the instant trade-ups weren't there from Reckoning Esports. But you gotta give it to Reckoning, man. The way this team is playing off of each other, they're making sure that even if a single body drops down, they're still squeezing out the maximum amount of value from that. They're always having these crossfires set up where they're getting each other's backs.
Yeah, and not just the crossfires, even the rotations are so on time. I mean, we usually see a lot of these defensive teams on Fractured just crunch their opponents by pushing out of Arcade, Dish, and the extremities of the map, you know, just chase them. But instead, Reckoning are just rotating by a defensive spawn. And that is still working. I mean, they're not even trying to crunch Revenant hard, they're just stopping them in their tracks as they try to enter the site.
Now being forced on Nico. Deadly 10, catches the bullet right to his dome. Haircut's been found. Voya on with the lockdown in his hands. And once again, a good shot from Ching to kick things off. Nice one. We'll also give him an upgrade with the Vandal in his hands. 4-on-4 scenario. This shouldn't be that tough of a round to get in the hands for Reckoning, but now, as they've lost out on the body and also a gun, that means an upgrade in the hands of Revenant. Rolling Thunder used to force back the opponents in the back lines, and this is what they're going to push off of. Nicely done. Also uses the ultimate on the Fade to give the position away as well. And that means the opponents are not going to have a lot of sound cues anymore, and Hirsch was able to get 2 off of that. Josh is in the front, but still Reckoning. They're able to get the grip back inside this round.
And this is what you call affirmation bias. Revenant, they get the previous round by just pushing out of the smoke in the previous round.
My ult's ready.
And they tried to do something similar. They tried to take the fight to them by using the Rolling Thunder as well as the Nightfall straight to its Canteen and Generator respectively. But this time, Reckoning respond. And they respond in a very stoic, staunch way.
Oh. Still, you can see 8-2 Reckoning Esports. This is not acceptable if you're a Revenant fan, because as I said, for Revenant, oh man, this was a start they really would have desperately needed and wanted to, because this is an attacking sided map, but then you've got Reckoning who are just getting these series of rounds in their hands, and they're looking quite happy too doing so. And Revenant is just not able to find any sort of crack in the defense. Deadly 10 is an operator set up for bait. As soon as the first man gets taken down, that's where Revenant Esports will now once again look like they're falling apart.
Indeed. And Revenant don't even have too much to boot. I mean, they're barely surviving on money. They're just being handed these stimulus checks to keep themselves afloat.
Right there.
And sure, they've lost Ching, but they can still go towards the A site where the operator lies in wait. Deadly, waiting, operating, anticipating, and this time he will decimate Paradox as well. The Aftershock forces them out, and they needed this frag desperately, but they aren't out of trouble. Even Twist is available over there. This is a weird set of smokes, but it works. It lets Revenant get inside, only to get traded out by Fabin. It's a pinstripe of the kill feed. And Revenant still find themselves in very awkward spots. He's right underneath. Does Twist expect this? Ace has to just count on his lucky stars now. Has to hope that the timing works out in his favor. And there's very little time left on the clock. 14 seconds to go. And he has to make a move now. They're diving into the site. Have to get the spike across, but Voya stops them. Interception perfection.
10-2 half.
Round before the switch.
Considering Voya, even he's got his lockdown available. Deadly 10 with the Blade Storm. Hirsch just needs one more orb to get the Rolling Thunder in the hand. The stars are aligned for Reckoning to win this last round in the half. And that should probably happen too. I'm not gonna lie, every single player from Reckoning Esports is on an equal page. Chris doesn't even need to do anything inside this round or inside this map in general, because his teammates are just feeling themselves and they're doing everything all by themselves. A quick take this time though. Quite desperate is Paradox, and he wants to get something in his hands desperately, but this time he will be denied. So Reckoning Esports, it's an absolute meat grinder on the site. The entries are being denied all the time. Nothing can be found.
They're just shooting their way to a victory. We've seen Revenant do this kind of stuff, not Reckoning. They are the aggressive team, but Reckoning just do not budge. They do not falter. And Josh pulled this off. The weight of the world on his shoulders and half of his HP already taken away from him. Double digits seem inevitable for Reckoning. He survives the op shot, but doesn't survive the knives. Slicing and dicing to double digits are Reckoning Esports. What a stoic lead.
They stormed through 10-2 first half. Don't even know what to say at this point. Did not expect Revenant Esports to crack down like that, especially on the attacking side. And now Reckoning Esports, for them, it's going to be the attacking side. I'm not going to lie, this map of Fracture just looks like such a puggish map. I'm going to say it, because it's just aggression all across the board, man.
Yeah, that's true. There is aggression all across the board, but there's different ways of aggression, right? I mean, usually expect Revenant to be the more aggressive one, but Reckoning aren't aggressing towards the extremities of the map to crunch in Revenant Esports, at least not very often. They just rotate in so perfectly via defensive spawn, and that's enough. They're always in place to just stop them in their tracks. Can Revenant bounce back? You'll find out on the other side of this break.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Bro, fridge meat के लिए, heat के लिए नहीं. Bro, this graphics card is making my frames drop. Come with me if you wanna get.
The all-new Omen 16 with advanced Tempest cooling technology, now with 5 heat pipes and 4 thermal outlets. The Omen 16 with 12th Gen Intel Core i7 processor to make you forget your frame drops.
Now that's cool.
Game on with Tempest cooling.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Yes, I'm a Gen Z. Or should I say, the Gen X. And I don't let fear hold me back from doing anything. I choose to move fearlessly to it all.
Hey buddy, we need you to trim your beard for this next scene.
What? Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I move fearlessly in most things, but I draw the line here. What if I Nico cut myself?
Try this.
Phillips.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, after that short break. You guys know what the scoreline is for the first half, 10-2, heavily leading towards the side of Reckoning. We did not expect such a stomp on the map of Fracture, but hey, it is what it is. And speaking about the end, the B sites, one thing is sort of just boggling my mind is that the amount of times we saw Revenant Esports hit the A site over and over and over again, it just made things so easy for Reckoning.
But will Reckoning fall to the same mistakes? I mean, so far, Reckoning are just heavily present towards the south side of the map. And while they're showing presence towards A main, they just now start to move towards B as well. The spike is positioned over there. The only thing standing in their way is going to be Ching and his camera. He doesn't even have a lot of tripwires over here to stop them. And now that the camera is down, no optical illusion can save them. Smoke's deployed. Another smoke by even Blackhawk was sent in towards Beam and hopefully to keep them at bay, but Ching with the shorty can definitely be a deterrent over here. And they're just diving in and out of that cyber cage, hoping to bait out sound cues that will flush him out. And one bullet is enough. He switches over to the Ghost, almost takes down Flabin, but Flabin turns around. What a double kill from this man. Reckoning crunched them hard.
Oh, it's almost done at this point, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's an anti-eco for Reckoning Esports, where they will have the weapons advantage, and Revenant Esports, they're pretty much on top of their faces. A lot to dream for, of course. As I said, they were fighting for a better seed in the playoffs, and also maybe the bragging rights, if you'd like to consider that. But mainly, it was for a better seed in the playoffs. And I guess Reckoning's the one to get the better seed.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe the seed will turn into a beanstalk. And the beanstalk that takes them all the way up to the skies above, the heavens that they will ascend to. Maybe even ascension. Who knows? My goodness. I'm just gonna say it out there. This whole map is a brawl. Not just this map. This entire series has been a brawl.
Match point.
In Lotus, we did see some rotations every now and then, but in Bind, we just saw so many of these rounds where everybody would be dead within the first 20 seconds. And now we're seeing it on Fractured too.
Well, 12 rounds, man. Here we go. Last one to go, Crips. Interesting stuff. I mean, opponents having better weaponry. Still, at least Woya and Trist, they've got a Vandal and a Phantom on the board. So let's see if they're able to do anything. If they're able to do anything with just those two guns. At least Woya has been dealt with, so that means that's the first Vandal off the board. First AR taken away, and then you've got men like Josh hitting his shots too. Reckoning Esports struggling definitely inside this round, but I like the fact that Revenant Esports are still able to connect those shots even after the round, the series of round they've lost so far. But look at Flabin so deep in. No one's gonna expect him here, and he will be spotted. What just happened? Oversmarting himself there.
Yeah, sometimes patience doesn't pay off. Trigger discipline is not always a wonderful virtue to have. And Revenant Esports turn up the heat. They are fighting their way back to victory. Although they have a massive mountain to scale, at least with this win, they're able to grant themselves the spiky boots. Dive those little spikes just into the bodies of Reckoning Esports. Pump them full of lead. What a crunch from Revenant Esports. They just disrespect all the smokes that have been put up. And yeah, I mean, Reckoning also were playing in semi-slowish fashion. They had like just one player towards the south side of the map while the rest of them tried to plug in via arcade. And what do Revenant do? They hard push in towards A main to take control of the south side, and then they're already behind Reckoning before they can even get the plant down.
Scout destroyed. Bring them down.
Both sides just refusing to give up control of this area, right? Just really being exchanged back and forth. Aftershocks, fault lines, prowlers, trailblazers, nades, you name it, you've got it.
It's quite interesting to see Deadly 10 on the operator on the attack. And what? Blackhawk just out aiming a guy with the operator in that range. It's inhuman to believe. But yeah, it is done in front of you guys, in front of your eyes too. Ching looking to pop out of that smoke and give a huge surprise to the opponents. Flapping on the other side of smoke too, try to do the same thing, but unfortunately not able to get the work with that. And Voya is now left with two of his teammates to do anything. They haven't even secured the site control yet. There's a tripwire on the site that can make things a little bit more difficult. But I gotta say, with the way Revenant Esports is able to hit every single shot so far on the defending side, it's just adding on the charm a little bit more. Hirsch almost got caught off guard. He's still got the operator in the hand. The shot will be waited, but the classic's gonna be enough to take him down, and Ching will seal the deal.
Revenant Esports find violence as their solution. Just simply refusing to let Reckoning into the site. Absolutely refusing to budge. And I can see what Reckoning tried to even do over there, right? As both the breaches exchanged flashes at almost the same time, you had Flabin trying to dive in towards the defender spawn entrance. hoping to catch somebody off guard, but hey, nobody budges. The rest of Revenant also recover their vision soon enough, and just like that, Reckoning Esports have been broken. Their economy shattered, and this could be the highway to Revenant's win. But it's a long and treacherous highway, full of landmines, full of traps. Reckoning Esports want to avoid some of these traps, and hence they start going towards the A side rather than B. But instantly, all these nades and aftershocks keep them away.
Wow.
Even the orbital strike has been thrown in by a Blackhawk just to burn one. And Deadly, he's been barbecued to death. It's not like he had a lot of weapons to begin with, so Reckoning aren't expected to win this round, but some economic damage will be desired. Never mind, they don't even get anything else. They just get Josh.
Nicely done. Boy, oh boy, Revenant Esports. Are they on the verge of pulling off an inhuman comeback, an unbelievable comeback? 5-12? Maybe a 12-12 OT?
This should do.
I think somehow I'm on too much copium over there.
This goes here, that goes there.
But yeah, speaking about Reckoning Esports though.
All are.
Yeah, they've got 3 ultimates available. Seekers, Orbital Strike, and even the Rolling Thunder. All these ultimates can help them gain the site control and also sustain it.
I've got your trail.
So it does seem like things are quite aligned for them. Seekers use the Rolling Thunder from the opponent's use too. Deadly 10! Able to take him down even though he's bunning around, but that was just a fake because the real push is on the opposite side. It's on the A side. The spike's getting planted too. Reckoning Esports, the mind games this time. Finally, we're seeing something that seems quite organized.
Revenant Esports were using brute force to get inside, but Reckoning get into their opponent's minds instead. And Twist is throwing everything at them. Birds, tigers, the whole goddamn zoo is towards them, and now another one, just keeping them at bay for so long. He doesn't break the haunt, and that's how Right to Ace can pre-fire him, but it's still back to a 3v3. Flash is perfect from the side of Reckoning. Harsh has the Rolling Thunder available now, and this could really be a deterrent. The Molly misses, but the ult won't. And Right to Ace has to tuck himself into a corner, find a safe spot. At least Blackhawk is able to trade him back, but now there's Hellfire upon him. Fire and Cataclysm raining down from the sky as they shake the whole ground and tear the skies asunder. Reckoning Esports steal the finishing blow. They win this game.
Knockout punch indeed. And once again, the cowboy swings into action. Flabbin, look at him. He's also got the stylish glasses. Oh man, I love this guy. I want to meet him. I want to meet him in person sometimes. But once again, he points his gun against Trist. Why does he do that? Why does he want a friendly fire against Trist only? Why not anyone else?
It's a special relationship, you know. I mean, just like we throw each other under the bus every now and then.
Yeah, he throws him under the bullet.
But for now, Reckoning have thrown Revenant under the bus and run it all over them. Great game. What an entertaining game. I must say, while both these teams are going to make it to the playoff, I think it's perfect that the league stage ends in this way, with two of the most entertaining teams facing each other and giving us an absolute bonanza of a game. The both first maps were super close. Lotus full of adjustments from either side, but somehow Reckoning are able to deal with all the aggression from Revenant. And then in Bind, Revenant show them exactly what aggression means. They define that word, taking us all into Fracture for the cherry on top of the cake.
And we absolutely love to see that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, league stage has came to an end. This was the final day, and pretty much playoffs are going to be the front stage of this entire VCSA split too, and playoffs are going to be fun to watch. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, there's still the entire post-game analysis to do, so we'll be right back.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in. On track, now we gon' way up. same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. same energy.